Tonight's podcast, as always, sponsored by JMW Heating and Plumbing Limited, domestic and commercial, gas, heating, plumbing and building maintenance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on emergency call-out, covering the whole of South Wales and South West England. You can contact them at info@jmwheating.co.uk and on the phone 0330 100 5286. There's 10% discounts for NHS and military veterans, 5% discounts for Swansea season ticket holders and listeners of this podcast. You get free quotation, they're a safe contractor member and a backseat accredited installer. So just remember, if you give them a shout, let them know you listen to the podcast, you'll get yourself a discount. Also sponsored, as always, by Boss Brewery, currently producing the champion beer of Wales for this stout called Boss Black. Boss Brewery Bar and Kitchen is on Neath Road, and they serve all the beers that are that are brewed on site. Open from Friday night to Sunday night. They're now doing a home delivery service for their Sunday roast. So if you go to their Facebook page and just like their Facebook page and follow the details there, you can get it dropped to your house. Obviously, you can go down there on a Sunday for 3-course lunch. Kids eat free. And it's really reasonable. They've got the outdoor beer garden, and when the nice weather finally comes back over the summer, get down there, get yourself a few beers, get yourself a selfie down there, tag Boss Brewery in it, and tag us in it, and so they can see that we're doing it for them. Also coming up on July the 12th, I mentioned it last week, we're going to talk about it a bit tonight because sort of all the advertising has come out for it now. July the 12th, Paddy is comparing a Lee Trundle Q&A. Tickets not out as yet. When I know about it, I'll be pushing it here. You keep an eye on our social media. So that's set to be a big night. You know, Paddy's going to run the show down there. I heard they sacked the comedian just because I told them they was worthless having one if Paddy was there. So this is episode 73 of the Ambition is Critical podcast. Real popular guest last time he was on. The General Secretary of the Swansea Senior League, Jaimie Elias, a great bloke. He's always very honest, very open when he comes in. We have a lot of people listening who play in the Senior League, who coach in the Senior League. And like you say, last time, real big numbers for Jaimie coming on. So he's got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of changes looking like they could possibly happen next year in the Swansea Senior League. There's a lot of finals coming up. There's a lot to talk about tonight. So this is episode 73 with Jaimie Elias.
Ambition is critical.
Yeah, try the boss part.
Yeah,
I love the ice cold, but
exactly.
I think I'll show you why not.
Do you know what we're going to get now on this photo pad? Do you know what we're going to get? Paddy, tight cunt, and put eating on.
Oh, we've had that before, yeah.
100%.
It's time to make me fucking
Day
boys.
boys.
Squeeze it in you.
Eating's expensive these days, nothing wrong with that, is it?
So we come straight from the nursery final.
Yeah, and Astawi against Penland. Bit of a funny one actually. This boy decides to rock up sort of 10 minutes before the game. I think he was sub, he didn't seem happy to turn up, you know. Right. So he walks past me, I'm shutting the door. I was like, you alright mate? He's like, yeah, I'm running a bit late. 5 minutes into the game, keeper busts his finger. The guy ends up in goals.
No way, 4.
Yeah, 4 on Astawi.
Right,
Like some
yeah.
Percy charging at him and all sorts.
Lovely.
He's right in the thick of it. So I left at half time. It was 0-0. So
Oh, fuck
yeah,
yeah.
not bad to be fair. So
Yeah.
And that's a village, is it? Yeah.
yeah, down the village. Penland seconds, Anastawi seconds. We got the Open Cup final Friday, so that should be a big one. Kilvey, Penland.
Yeah.
Friday down the village. So I think the Kilvey boys and the Penland boys will probably pack out the bar, spend a bit of money, etc. And
So what cup final is that Friday?
the Open Cup final.
The Open Cup final.
Yeah. So it should be a good game. They played each other in the senior semi, went to extra time. Penland obviously, I think, took it 4-0 in extra time. But yeah, good game to be fair. And then next Tuesday, then we got the mighty Saints down there on the Tuesday
fairness
night.
to Penland, mate. They've had a hell of a season, mate.
Yeah.
Every fucking, like, first, second, thirds.
Yeah.
That's a strong fucking, you know, that's a
4
strong
cup finals.
club, that is.
Liverpool,
Fucking
3-0.
can't do no more than...
No.
And I don't know what the third, where did the thirds finish in the league?
Thirds, I think, got promoted with Sandfields, I think.
And the seconds...
The seconds missed out.
Yeah,
I think they just missed out with West End, and I think they finished second. Thirds got promoted. The thirds were in the final against Europe on Tuesday. So Yeah,
fair
the
play.
boys from Saints weren't happy. It was on a Tuesday night. Fender was on the inbox to me. Oh, can we move it? Can we move it? I was like, Village unavailable, unfortunately.
Yeah, the thing is, I saw that he was getting a bit of earache for that.
Yeah.
Obviously we talked about the first time he was on here, how you were a fucking lightning rod for any earache that comes our way.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing that finals are played
Always
on
been
a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's par for the fucking course. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever played a weekend final.
No.
You always play them in the midweek.
Yeah, exactly. From my point of view, it's not really the done thing, is it? Like a weekday final, an evening under lights has always been my sort of version of a final.
Our first team always played down the vetch midweek. Reserve finals was, I think, what have happened? I think because you've done maybe a final where you has the big day down the Liberty. I think
on the
done
weekend.
On Saturday.
It was Saturday last year, wasn't it?
This year it's on a Sunday, which I love the look of it. I was talking to Mark earlier, I like Paul McKenna, funny enough. We going up and making a day of it, because the way I look at it, these under 15s and under 16s, they're the future.
Paddy's going to be poaching.
I'm going down with contracts. You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Like I said, and I think the element of it is it's more for the 15s and 16s than the adults. Obviously the adults, they'll enjoy playing down there. It'll be a good experience. Penlan have played down there before. It's the first, I believe, for Anastawi, Gorse and Sandfield, so it'll be good for them. But it's the kids, isn't it? So you got Righty's West End team, him and the boys are completely up for it. They're a good side. Anastawi then, who will play also the 15s, them two are sort of the league rivals, so that's going to be a cracker of a game. Porten and Dens, and they're under 16s.
I watched them last year.
They were pretty good.
There's a couple of screamers.
Oh my God, I was thinking about it today. And, we talked about it on here, but I couldn't... You won't go and see better goals than the two of the three goals that were scored that day. The first one from the boy from Sandfield, he'll never hit them like that again.
Exactly.
It's 30 yards across goal into the top corner. It was
They're playing
unbelievable.
a pitch our size as well.
On a pitch our size, yeah. Like I said, my cousin was playing the Sandfield, so I was there thinking, oh, fucking hell, Sandfield. Yeah. Colts were very, very good side.
They are, to be fair, and they're playing Plough Colts. It's a first for Plough Colts as well, and Plough pretty much inland door. It's all local people.
So what age is the manager of that Plough side? What side is that Plough team?
It's 16, so I believe it's Moxie.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, don't know what I think it is Moxie. The boys train up with me. And I speak to Moxie regular, and he's had a tough time of it. And fair play to the boys. Do you know what I mean? Quality. I'm chuffed for them.
I did see that they. I'm sure you won't mind me talking about. They chipped in and sent. Did they send him and his boy to Barcelona?
Yeah.
Was it for the? Maybe not for the.
No, I think it was. A couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
I don't know what. I've just gone from being unbiased to wanting Moxie's mom to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Fucking hell, I'd be a bit of a story in that. That'd be lovely. I would see that.
But we had to set it for the 19th. The Swans came to Stuart and said, look, you can have a choice of 3 dates: the 11th, the 18th, or the 19th. The problem with the 11th, we were all set for the 11th, but then the Swans 23s. Then they got to the semi-final of the Premier League Cup.
Right. Okay.
And that was being played in the stadium on the 4th, but it was on the proviso that if they won, they would then take that 11th off us, and they play the Premier League final in the stadium. Right. Okay. So from our point of view, it's like
wouldn't it be a neutral venue then?
Yeah, you think that would
unless maybe they
was it a two-legged final?
Yeah, but probably the Premier League games, probably the Premier League teams maybe already tied up the stadium wise.
Yeah, well,
if all the games are on the Sunday, innit? Maybe they couldn't. So maybe Swans offered it.
I don't know. Like I said, they played the semi-final in the Liberty. It was actually last Saturday, and Everton beat them, which meant that the 11th was free. But we can't do it with less than a week's notice. With this 18th as well. The Ospreys played the Blues in Judgment Sunday, and then it meant that because the Ospreys won, they are now into a playoff with the Scarlets. But which has been earmarked for the 18th, the 7:45 kickoff, but they don't actually know whether they've got to play it. It'll depend, if Leinster beat Saracens, it means that, and some other results go, and certain teams within they won't need to take up a qualifying place, and then the Ospreys might not even have to play off the tour,
basically.
And a
lot of red tape,
then Blues might have to play, and we just don't know. So the only day we could literally guarantee was the Sunday, which guarantee no messing around.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the Sunday.
No, I think it's great. Yeah.
No, like I said,
Sunday work,
because the last couple of years we competed, we have with the FA Cup final, and I don't know what it is with the senior league. It's never really a thing for me growing up with the Ronda, but teams and clubs seem to have like an FA Cup.
Yeah, they used to.
Day out,
yeah,
like,
we always
day.
used to
It seems to be a thing.
We used to have a session every fucking Saturday though.
Yeah,
That was just extra.
Yeah, I think if I remember, Ragged would hire up Vesuvio's with Dario, and he'd have that, like, you know. And I think we was always
in a Bryn on a pissing.
always up on FA Cup day
because it was Jimbo's birthday. Jimbo's birthday always fell on it.
That's right. Yeah. So I think what we find is maybe people that might go down, like they were, like Saints got their fucking party. So we would have had a Saturday.
This is what happened last year. That's why you couldn't go on the Saturday because you had the.
So, but on the Sunday, I think you might get more people like, because I tell you what, it's nothing to do with it. It was badly advertised. Was the West Wales game
Last night.
Fucking hell. First I heard was Mansell taking a photo.
That's exactly the same. I was going to say.
And I was thinking, fucking hell, I don't mind having a little look at the West Wales game, even if they are two Carmarthen sides. It's still if who's at a loose end.
Who was in the final?
Merlin's Bridge and Carew. Mansell actually had a freebie off me. As a West Wales committee member, I get 2 like sort of executive box tickets, food included, and all stuff like that. So Mansell was like, "Oh, you going on the West Wales final? Do you want to come as my guest, Mansell?" And he was like, "Yeah, damn right." And then Rory Smither, man, I had a phone call of Rory Smither, and come on my phone. "Hey, Roy, right? All right, Jay, man. Heard you going down Mansell tonight? Any chance you can
going down with Mansell?
Any chance you can get a spare?" So I emailed Kerry Richards. He said, "Yeah." So me, Rory, and Mansell went down. To be fair, and Carew started off well. They had this boy on the left wing, absolute rapid. You know, big pitch. He was murdering him. His hamstring went after 20 minutes, and they took him off. Absolutely changed his game, man. And Merlin's Bridge had just stepped it up a bit. Ended up taking the game 3-1.
I went to Merlin's Bridge last year with the Roxburgh. They played him in like the third or fourth round down in Merlin's Bridge, and it was a hell of a game. And Roxburgh were like, I think Roxburgh were like 2-0 up, and then they went 3-2 down, and it was back and forth. Ended up finishing like 5-4 Merlin's Bridge or something. It was a hell of a game down in Merlin's Bridge. Really enjoyed it.
Because Merlin's Bridge they've pretty much earned it. They've played a few Swansea teams. They beat Penlan in the second round. So you knew like them two sort of big teams playing each other. You know, whoever went through, there was, you know, you'd expect to get quite far in the competition. And they beat Penlan. One, you know, the other one was beating Mumbles, the other one beating Plough, and you know, and yeah, they earned it, to be fair. But I think what I was told is that they'd only sold 8 tickets for the final, but then apparently 300 walked up. So people from Pembrokeshire, they obviously got a bus up, drove up, and then just went to the ticket office. So yeah, and we're doing the same, like I said. So we're doing a draw tonight for the home teams. Swan's ticket office have been on to Stewart. "Oh, we need the home teams because we need to print the tickets up on the ASC podcast."
Yes,
and we're doing the draw. We're doing the draw for the home team. So whoever we choose tonight, we'll have the home dressing rooms and all sorts of stuff. So
are we going to mix it up, or are we going to stick the balls in Donna's fanny? see what comes out of it. We'll end up chicken nuggets, and like a fucking a welly. You know what I mean?
Be like Sticky Vicky and
When do you want to do that?
Whatever. Like I said.
What's your plan of attack with it then?
I'm just thinking, grab a bit of a coin and do it, and grab a bit of a coin and then do it each one. So first game, so West End against Anastawi.
Is it a big thing? I take it the home dressing room is better.
Yeah, well, like you said, you know, it's the Swan's own dressing room.
Was it a bench? Did you play you?
Well, we broke it, and I seen it
the home change rooms in the bench were great. I know old school now. I'm sure they're 10 times better now. But they had the bath in there. There was plenty of room in there now. You go in the away change rooms, fucking hell, it was smaller than senior league. It was like Minute change rooms. You know what I mean?
Actually, John Cornelius was telling me last night down the Liberty that Liverpool, Bill Shankly, when they built the change rooms, the away change rooms, apparently, you know, they just made it absolutely freezing.
That's the way to do it.
Stuff like that. And I obviously know that's not the case with this, but you know, for the kids and stuff like that, they probably want to be in the home change rooms, the Swans, and in the home dugout, you know, on the right hand side. Obviously, this, that, the other. So you know, like I said, I didn't realise it was such a big thing, but I've had people, you know, what's the draw? You know, who's in the home, who's in the away? So I thought, come on tonight, and then when I go home, text Stuart, and then they'll print the tickets then with wherever the home team is. They'll print the tickets, so with them
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
on the things, and then from our point of view with it is that the Swans do all the ticket stuff, so I don't have to dish out tickets. If anyone wants to buy a ticket, you just go down to the ticket office and buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So obviously to be on a guest list standard like you were
Yeah,
last year.
I got
so,
spoiled rotten last year.
Really?
Maybe he rode it with my kids.
No way.
Oh, brilliant. We obviously Jamie had been on the Thursday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday
yeah,
before,
Thursday
wasn't it?
before, yeah.
And he said, I had texted Jamie beforehand, said, "Oh, can we bring some tickets to the final, mate? Because my cousin was playing, Josh was playing for Sandfields. I wanted to go and watch. I didn't expect a freebie, of course, but Jamie said, don't worry, I'll look after you. Just come down on a day and I'll sort you up." So I went down. Jamie's on the door, gives us all the posh bands for the posh. What's the name of that room?
It's the director's lounge. It is. So it's all them lot, but it's their like lounge. They got like 8 TVs.
They've got a
which
TV.
all sort of connect.
Hang
to
on,
one
you
image.
actually watched the Swansea League game
Yeah.
on telly?
Yeah, it was a live feed.
Big fan, like, yeah.
So you walk in, there's a TV wall, right?
Oh, right, yeah,
It's
yeah.
you know, gigantic
Yeah,
TV wall, right? So down in the bottom right hand corner was a picture of the changing the tunnel.
Yeah.
So you could see people milling around, players coming in and out. Down on the bottom left then was the Sky Sports News was on. And this is like 4 TVs worth, mind. It
Right,
was just
yeah.
fucking huge. And then all the top half of it was the pitch. So if I wanted to, I could have stayed in the lounge, had a pint, watched the game in there.
Right, I see, yeah.
So because we were a bit early, let's say I was there a good half hour before kick-off, not more than that. Like, you know, I went in, I had a pint. The kids were just fascinated by that TV wall.
I bet, yeah.
Programs there, they were looking at the programs. Then Tim came in, and a few of the other
Committee
members, and Tim Robinson came in from Stowie, so I was chatting to Tim. And then the kids wanted to go out, so we went out. So we had the posh seats as well, didn't we? In
padded
like,
ones.
the padded seats and
Yeah.
everything. So we sat there, watched a game, good game. Like I said, Patena Colts were a very good side. I was really impressed with a number of the boys. It's Dean Williams' boys team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then half time, we got to go back down, and I look over, and my old man's over there in the cheap seats. I was like, "Alright, Bill, yeah, it's fine." I'm going in the lounge.
Yeah.
Oh, and to be fair with them, they do look after us down there. Like not so much this year. It's mainly Chris Perlman we deal with, but we've been dealing with sort of Hugh Jenkins. Hugh Jenkins, is an ex-ragged schoolboy. A big fan of the Swansea Senior League, and he'd always want to sort of have us over there. And so they gave us that lounge. We were supposed to have the boxes last year, but I think they rent them out. St John's Ambulance had booked a load of them out for some sort of training course. But this year it's different. We've got the big lounge on level 3 which overlooks the pitch. We've got our lounge this year, and all the boxes. So each club is in the final. They'll get a box each, and they'll be able to sort of invite their own guests, and there's sort of food options and drink options available for them and stuff like that. And then obviously people can upgrade to go into the lounge, so it's like an all-day thing. First kick off 11, then 1, then 3, then 5.
I'm a big fan of that, man.
Yeah.
I like I said, me and Mark, I said today, oh fuck, because you can go down there and you can have a pint if you just want to stay in by the concourse, maybe.
Yeah.
Would it be allowed to take a pint on the pitch?
No, it's like a FIFA rule. You can't consume even in those boxes. You have like a curtain to new, and you've got bouncers and stuff like that, and they're very strict with it.
Because I was obviously in the VIP club last year. Were the concourse bars open for people to have a pint?
Yeah.
They were they?
For the peasants, mate, is it?
They're below me.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be seen drinking it. Well,
boys won't have to worry about this year.
When you go up to it's the same when you go in a Premier Club. I went in a Premier Club earlier on this year. I had Ucky's season ticket. I went, me and his old man. It was the Preston game, very first game of the season. And obviously, because I'm so used, I was only going to stadium now since 2005, and you go down on a concourse and you drink out the plastic bottles. And I'd given up drinking a lager in there. That season when we had Paulo Sousa was our manager, and it was boring as fuck. I spent the whole season in a Riverside lounge being leathered, but every Sunday was rough as fuck after drinking lager, because they've got it standing there, it's fucking stagnant, it's garbage. When he goes in the fucking Premier or up in the lounge that I was in when Jamie put me up there, you get a proper course pint glass and a proper pint of course. You know what I mean?
I was talking about that last night with a couple of people back in 05. Is it true that one of the Swans' old groundsmen was telling me that they had to move the Swansea Senior League finals. They were actually in a meeting, and someone came in and said, "Oh, you're going to have to forget using the vetch for the finals." And they were like, "What do you mean? What's going on?" After the final Swans game of the season, everybody ran onto the pitch and started stealing the pitch. It was you lot, because they had to move the West Wales Cup final down to St Helens as well. Yeah,
we played in the Open Cup final. A midweek game, just so you don't have to have any shit. This was in 2005 as well. I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Down St Helens, that was scheduled to be in St Helens from the start, I believe. And we played Brunswick 1-5, 5-1, I think it was. We beat them. And then a couple of weeks later, we had the West Wales. In the meantime, Swans had played Chester on a Saturday. The last home, I think that was the last home game at the Veterinary in the league. Because it was the reason I remember, it was the day Jippo got run over. And I gave my ticket up because my head was shot. Because anyway, he's all right now, but I wasn't right at the time. So we had the game then on the Tuesday or the Wednesday afterwards. Won that game. The final was on the 2 weeks after. But in the meantime, we had a FAW final game against Wrexham. Yeah. Right, I think Andy Robinson scored the winner, and we won. And everyone piled on the pitch and just started ripping shit up. They were taking the fucking hoardings, the nets, fucking people were just ripping out bits of turf, right? And I'm watching this on like BBC Two Wales or some shit, and I'm going, "Oh, fuck off!" Right?
You're ruining it.
I was like, "Are we not going to be able to?"
It's not dawning on you, thinking, "How are they going to get this back ready for Tuesday?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I get caught. I knew straight away we weren't going to be able to play there because there was already a worry, if I remember rightly, because it's a long time ago now. There was already a worry that type of thing might happen, and it may fuck us up playing there, because it was us and Winch Wen in the final. And
when Winch Wen won it, was it? Mansell was playing for them.
Mansell, Danny Kavanagh, Glovers, and a lot of boys.
Jason Wright,
Junior Winston, and they had a very good side, and they beat us 2-0.
Did they get to the West Wales the year after as well? I believe, didn't they win one of the first? Did they play in the Liberty?
One of the first ones.
I think I remember them. Mansell saying that they won one of the first finals in the Liberty.
Yeah, I think so.
They might have. Yeah, they like I say, they had a strong side. What happened that year? What was we at that year? We had played them probably 3 or 4 weeks previous to that final and smashed them to bits. I mean, like we beat them like 6 or 7-1 over Pentra, murdered them. And I was like, fuck me, this West Wales final's going to be a walk in the park. No, it was a different game than the West Wales final. Like when we played them, they were a good side. They had an off day against us, and we had a good day when we battered them. And then obviously when we played against each other, it was more even Stevens, and they came out on top. Like I think they scored from 2 set pieces, 2 corners. Danny Kavanagh scored one.
Yeah. Jason Wright scored the other one there, I'm sure.
Yeah, Danny Kavanagh scored one from a corner as well. We got done from 2 corners. But yeah, so they fucked us up. We were supposed to, and I was spewing about it because I was finishing, and that was going to be my last game. And I thought, last game at the Vetch, fucking great. It's poetic, like.
Yeah, of course.
No, last game in St Helens, which was a shit football pitch. Still a shit football pitch.
They actually don't allow any football on it at the moment.
Really?
Last couple of years. Because we have the 4 finals. We try and have the Liberty for the 4 finals, or we've had the training ground. And then we've got 4 other finals, which are obviously equally important, but for obvious other reasons can't be in the stadium. So we always look for sort of local venues, because if we have to go to Britain Ferry or we have to go to Landarcy, we have to ask the permission of the neighbouring leagues to use it.
Right, yeah.
So for example, we have to ask the Neath League. It's a bit of a palaver, they can say yes or they can say no, but we like to keep it in. So Swansea University don't like to sort of rent their stuff out, that Sketty Lane one with the because it's mainly athletics this time of year. Village, this year we got all 4 Village, which is helpful, but usually because Village like to keep their pitch in top condition, they call a lot of games off throughout the year, and then towards the end they have a bit of a thing, so it's not usually available. Obviously, Pryderi, West End use that, in the Welsh League, etc. So there's a lot of pitches. I don't think
you'd want that for the final, or would it?
No, Pryderi is generally one of the worst pitches ever.
Oh, it's terrible. And then, so obviously, I spoke to the council since I come in. I've got a good relationship with the council. I say to them, look, is there any chance we can use St Helens? I love St Helens, do you know what I mean? I said, they've got a nice bar which overlooks, you know, when they put the pitch in, you probably play down there. You know, they got a stand right next to it. You know, it's lovely down there. Do you know what I mean? And no, apparently they got rugby down there and cricket down there, and they're just not interested at all in football down there, which is a shame. Do you know what I mean? Because it just narrows our options.
There was a spell there where there was a lot of games. There was Sunday finals played there. I went to watch. The year after I finished, Saints played two finals.
We played Ragged.
No, that was your team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But didn't the first team play Bunny Mine down there in one final?
Yeah, I think that's rings a bell. I know Saints, when he was down in Division 3, played Blind and Mice in a final there as well. Like. Yeah.
But it won for me, St Helens, because it's not a football pitch.
No,
the surface
but in terms of like a ground for us, like we
Swansea.
You know, people more. We like to try and provide a venue. You know what I mean? Like people, you know, they work the season before they get to a cup final. But you know, there's practicalities to everything, and like I said, it was an hell of a job to get the Liberty this year. It's a real slog. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, like I said in my tweets and stuff like that, you know, it does cost $11,000 to hire for the day.
Yeah. Right. So what? Before we get into that, because that's going to be extensive. Do you want to do the draw?
Yeah, come on in. Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
How do you want to do it? You call the teams out. I'll flip one.
Yeah.
Paddy will call. Like you know, which way do we do it?
Yeah.
Let's say I'll be the. I don't know.
Who'll be the flipper? Right?
Yeah.
And I'll decide who's before he flips. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You call a home. Yeah. You call heads or tails, and whatever it lands on is the home change room.
Right. Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do the under 15s first.
Yeah.
Right. So we got West End versus Anastawi. Right.
So you say
heads West End, tails Anastawi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Heads.
So West End
Home.
are going to be the home dressing room. Right, you'll be happy with that. Someone
yeah.
Put a bribe in or
Home
whatever
for
to it.
them,
Yeah. So move on to 16s now. So we got Plough and we got Port Tennant. Right.
We'll have Plough tails and we'll have Port Tennant heads.
Right.
Heads.
So it's Port Tennant. Anyone would say that that was fake, Paddy. You being a Port Tennant boy yourself,
fuck
doing?
Port Tennant. I've been having all the players next year. They fucking hate me over here. Don't worry about that.
Right, next one now is Sandfields. And against Gorse.
What's this, a Gwalia, is it?
It's the Gwalia Cup final, yeah.
Well, who's who, Pad?
We'll go heads, Sandfields, tails, the Gorse.
3 out of 3 with the heads.
Heads, Sandfields are the home team. Avo and the boys will be happy with that, I think. And then the big one, the Senior Cup. Obviously our showpiece event. You got Penlan and you got Anastawi. So we got Tim and Kev, both committee members, both been on to me tonight. I should know. I'd love to be in the audience.
Heads Anastawi, tails Anastawi. No, we'll have heads Penlan, tails Anastawi.
4 heads.
4 heads, so it's
Four heads.
Penlan.
Right.
What is the world coming to?
Like Harvey did with his fucking skies.
It's in a double header. So we got, to confirm then, we got West End under 15s are going to be the home team. Port Tennant under 16s are going to be the home team. Sandfields are going to be the home team. And Penlan are going to be the home team. I'm sure the boys will be happy with that anyway. So yeah, that's done. I can tell the ticket office later and we'll be happy with that then.
I don't think you've got to get many buying tickets, or is it mainly walk up on the day? I think that's what it fucking mainly is, surely.
It's tricky because obviously we're going into the finances a bit more, but like I said, you know, what they've done in previous years is they've sort of not forced, but sort of told every club they need to buy 5 tickets just to support, to support it. Because even, you know, like, and I get it, you know, like for example, these 8 teams are all over it because they're in the final, but someone will go knocked out in the first round, maybe not particularly interested. But you know, anybody, you know, the way we do it with these 4 finals is that everybody within our league structure has the opportunity to get to a final, and that's why we pick these 4 finals. Because, you know, if you play for Saints thirds, well, you've got to try and get the Saints first, and the Saints first have got to try and get the senior final, and same with Sandfield. So every single team, you know, you can't have a second team without a first team. So every single first team has an opportunity to get to a final, because Gwalia is one half of the league structure, seniors the other half, and then the 15s and 16s, they just
that makes sense.
So from our point of view, it's, you know, that's why we pick those 4 finals, because people say about like the Open Cup and stuff like that, and it's like, well, the problem with the Open Cup and putting it in the stadium is that they can be the same teams. So Penland are in both
course.
finals.
Yeah, of course,
you couldn't make Penland play. You couldn't make Penland play 2 games in the stadium in one day, could you? And again, you know, and
this is set in stone for years, is it? This is how we've always done it?
as I was, you know what. You got the Open Cup, which is the same teams. And with the Open Cup, we don't generally do the semi-finals till the end of April, so it's just too short notice. If we have different teams, I think a couple of years ago the Senior Cup didn't go ahead due to some sort of interleague politics, etc. I wasn't involved, and they put the Open Cup over there. I believe it was the Mall against Ragged, I think.
Yeah,
it must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, and you know, and in thing as reserve team football, like I said, you know. The boys who were there care about it, but there's not the same interest. You know, it wouldn't be the same interest of the Swans 23s that would be for the seniors, you know, etc. But the 15s and 16s, you know, with the kids, in terms of like financial, you know, we have to try and balance the books as best we can, and you know, and as you both know, little Jimmy who plays for West End under 15s, his grandmother's there, his grandfather's there, his father's there, you know, all the kids from school are there. You know what I mean? It's a big occasion. It's a big occasion for the kids. You know, for the adage, you know, like if my son was playing there, I'd be dragging the entire family down. You would, wouldn't you? And so a lot of the time with the kids, it means more to them, number one. And number two, they are the money makers as well. So last year, for example, you know, we had...
There's a good crowd there for the
15s and 16s probably made up about 60-70% of the ticket sales. By the time we came to Penland West End, which I was there, obviously due to the FA Cup, people were on days out and nights out and stuff like that. It wasn't a massive crowd down there. Do you know what I mean? And you know, with the 15s and 16s, they are the money makers, and it means more to them. And I want to put the kids, you know, the 40 from under 6s, 7s to all the way up to 14. They play in the Swansea Junior League, and obviously, you know, the Swansea Junior League's run very well. You know, it's a very, very prestigious league. So for them to come to the 15s, we want it to be a case of, you know, like Anastawi, you know, Adrian's team. They come from 14s to 15s. 15s, prestigious. We're in the Swansea Senior League now. If we get to a cup final, we're playing in the Liberty Stadium, and I want it to be that for everybody. Do you know what I mean?
It's not that as well. When they get to 15s and 16s, that's when they're looking to make the step up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Listen, if you go on the Saturday and the Morris, all of a sudden now the last 3-4 weeks, there's as many under 15s in the pub as there are the adults, like, because they come into that age where they're growing up, like, and they want to be in the pub and having a couple of pints. And me personally, I got a daughter, I ain't got a son, but you know, I'd rather my boy probably have a couple of pints when you can see him rather than fucking sniffing glue up the park like on Saturday. Whether the landlords and landladies are happy, you know, maybe not. You know, they don't want fucking, as long as the kids ain't getting fucking hammered. But around about 14, 15, that's when they're making the step up into adulthood, isn't it? And I think it's a great thing having the 15s and 16s, especially the 16s. Next year, they're making a step up. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you've got to be playing senior football. And I think it's great, but I'm like, to get them involved. That's why we always get the 16s if it's a side of the Saints. Straight away. We're doing it with Daniel's lot this year. Yeah. When we were like training, I think we left to our Pentra. I've seen the new facility. Yeah. Fucking lovely, stunning. Well, we'll incorporate the 16s with us. And Daniel's age, simply because a couple of years' time, is
there any talk, just while you say that now, because it's something I thought about the other day, is there any talk of you using that as your Saints home pitch next season?
I don't think so.
They put it in. What Fender put in was that they wanted to use the pitch next to Malster's
our old pitch, basically,
which has got rugby posts on it. Like I said, I put it to committee, but it is a rule that you can't use a pitch that's got rugby posts on it because... Like exactly. So that's just a league rule. So I had to go back and say.
I actually meant the 3-4 pitch.
Well, actually, fair play to Alan Lewis from the FAW. He's done actually deal with it. Is that he's done a block booking sort of thing for a Friday night for the Swansea Senior League, mainly the Corinthian section. So we could have sort of 2 games there on a Friday night. So come next season, I'd say to all the teams, right, who fancies playing on a Friday night? And then what the FAW Trust would do in Aled is that whatever a permit costs for Saturday football, 52 quid or whatever, the FAW Trust would pay the difference to make sure that the clubs paid the same amount of money to play on a Friday night. And bloody hell, Friday night game under lights, I think half the teams would probably bite your
Yeah.
hand off with that,
Well,
especially the kids. Do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, the kids, 100%. I don't think it suits seniors. So everyone likes to have a fucking pint after it, like, and I'm a fucking dinosaur. I don't like change. But yeah,
I haven't been down there yet. My boy
Stunning.
actually, my youngest now,
It's lovely.
has got a friendly down there Sunday, so it'll be the first time I go
The
down
thing
there.
is, so if you go down there, take a couple of footballs because obviously, and I'm going to roof, but it's right next to Neath Road, so I can imagine it's going to
it goes over.
behind the old sort of car, the old garage by the car wash there. But it is nice.
Lovely,
It's standing
really,
service,
fucking really nice, like.
Yeah, no, because they've been training. Kean's team have been training in the indoor bit on in the fucking sports hall, basically. You know, I didn't even know there was a pitch there.
It's all gravel, it is.
Yeah, it's all gravel in there. But Louis told me, and I was like, really? Fuck, I didn't even notice. We've been over there every week. You know what I mean? For half a year.
Whereas the rest of them, the rest of the 3Gs in the city, like Morriston and are run by the leisure centres. This one is actually like the schools own thing, and they sort of rent it out themselves. So I think they got like a business manager who sort of like rented. It's actually the school's own property and they rent it themselves. So it might be better, might be worse. I don't know.
As regards the 3 or 4G pitches, I know it's really only Morriston, isn't it? Aside from maybe that one down there now, but do you have, obviously you've rearranged games for Morriston Comp in the past, haven't you? If West End and Penland have been called off, you say as long as both teams are okay with it, they can play up there. Let's say there was a team that wanted it as their home pitch for the year. Would you have an issue with that?
Well, Roxburgh actually asked me that question for next year, and what I say to them is same with the league rule before these 4Gs came in, is that some teams used to like to use Landarcy, right? But I don't know what it is with what you'd call the dinosaurs of the Swansea Senior League, but they seem to like playing on grass and they love grass, right? And a lot of teams, there's a rule in place where if Saints are playing Roxburgh and the games got called off and Saints and Roxburgh agree that they're going to play on 4G, crack on, I don't care, as long as the game gets played, I'm not bothered. But what the committee has made a rule of is that if Saints don't fancy playing on 4G, they can turn around and say no.
Yeah. So
the problem you've got for Roxburgh, or Roxburgh Fords, which are going to be Kildare folding and they're becoming Roxburgh, under Roxburgh Fords, is that if they can set their home pitch as Morriston, but that doesn't mean that every team has to agree to play them on it. And that's just a league rule because I guess it's not fair, but we are grass based. The majority of teams play on grass, and I guess that's just a way forward. But like I said, from my point of view as a secretary who wants to get the games played, if every game is on 4G, I would love to be in bed on a Saturday morning and not have to do my...
No one would be calling you a cunt every Saturday morning.
Listen, let me tell you, 100% there were 3 people saying there's Morriston on. Honestly, 120%.
I'm on the Swansea Junior for both my kids, right? I know the lady that runs the Facebook page anyway, I know Karen Trussler.
I'm good friends with Karen.
Karen Trussler, every Saturday morning, she'll put up a post.
Saying, boy,
you know exactly
me and Karen have got I was talking to her last night on the Swans, we got like an in joke about it. I mean, it's just...
She put up something along the lines of, could be a lot of cancellations today, but I will let you know. Don't bother messaging on the bottom of this. I will let you know as soon as I know. And immediately 100%. Someone puts his Ticanol on.
Unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
But I've said that as well. But with the other league, it's like I sort of made a roar off my own back with it because I'm saying that now and people are just doing it now to be funny. Do you get what I mean? It's like like with us in the junior league, like the groundsman from each centre phone us as soon as they made a decision. So if the mobile boys are out in the car, as soon as they're done, they'll literally phone us. So it's not like the information's not out there. It's just literally as soon as I get the information, I'll post it out. But people are just impatient. Do you know what I mean? It's like what they used to do back in the day. You just have to ring Ticanol.
People don't trying to get through Ashley Road.
Exactly. People don't realise how good they got it these days. But yeah, you always get them, and then you have people, and then. The difference of the junior league and us is that I took it a little bit further with the whole I move games, I move pitches, those sorts of things. I have even got a thing now with the council where I can go and call pitches back on because, for example, the mobile boys, it's just the way the council works out. They call on and off the pitches, like the outer pitches, so your come levels, your satellite centres, that don't have a groundsman. They have to go around at like 7:38 in the morning and check the pitches.
Lock and change,
But they can only make a decision based on
the pitch
that.
they
They don't know the weather. They don't know what's going to happen if this on their ass. So that what they say is, James, I'm going to call this on. I'm going to call this off. But then I can then think to myself, well, if it's pissed down and they've called it off, and then it brightens up, I've been down to Anastawi Park. I've been down to Comet level. I've actually had conversations with Paddy about
This was a cracker. Right?
This was a cracker.
I had a fucking nightmare, right? Anastawi Penlan is called off, right? It's off. Then all of a sudden, it was a very rare Saturday morning off for me, right? So I'm off. So WhatsApp, it's like all the Swansea, like so Evan says, Anastawi Penlan's been called off. Haven't you heard what's fucking happening? Jaimie Elias is on his way to Anastawi to call it on for Penlan.
Right.
So I went, fuck this, I'm not having this. I'm fucking phoning my boy up. Yeah. So I fucking messaged him and said, Jim, you can't go doing this. You're not God. He calls the game off. You can't call it on just for Penlan. He went, Pat, Tim Robinson just asked me to go up and call it on. I went, I'll take that to the team. I do apologise. This is why he needs to work on a Saturday morning because I go all excited. I said, I'll fucking message him. Who do you think he is going up there calling the fucking game on? Because
they wanted, and he was like, well, why, people are like, well, why it wasn't Saints game on? But they were playing at Mynydd Newydd, and Mynydd Newydd have a groundsman there all day who makes that decision purely. So I would never ever have the power to call off Mynydd Newydd, T-Can and Ashley Road because those places have groundsmen. I only did that ground because it's a mobile ground, and it was actually Anastawi that wanted the game on, not Penlan. But everyone's like, Jaimie Elias is like Penlan's biggest fan. He bleeds blue and all that. Apparently, I've had that many a time, like doing.
But I'll hold my hands up when I've had a trev.
So the 11k for the stadium.
Yeah.
Right, because that was another reason why I wanted you to come back on, because obviously I'd seen you had a bit of grief about the midweek finals, which really speaking was
non-starter.
It was just a non-starter. It didn't make any sense. I played in those games and I had to go to work the next day, and I know you want to go on a piss if you won and have a good time with your mates, but it's just fucking so like
it was mainly the one guy, Jamie Tate. Like I said, Jamie's tidy. Like I said, I think he was obviously, we were having a bit of back and forth and stuff like that. But in the morning he was like, "Oh, sorry, Jamie, I had a couple of cans last night." He did, to be fair, and he was tidy enough. But I spoke to him tonight, and he's tidy. And obviously he was just saying people, boys like to play on a nice surface and stuff like that. I was like, well, when it costs you 11 grand to host a final, like we take, the Swansea Senior League. We're not like made of money. We take a risk every single time we host this final. How does that break
down? Where does it start? The Swans come to you and say, right, you can have these dates and this is what it's going to cost.
So Stuart MacDonald, who's our treasurer, Stuart is in charge of the Swansea City Supporters Trust. So he is so Stuart sits on the actual board of the Swans. He runs the 21% of the club that's owned by the supporters. So Stuart's our sort of contact. He's good friends with Chris Perlman. Chris Perlman's the American guy who mainly runs it all.
Bellboy, we calls him.
Yeah, and he's close to Hugh Jenkins when he was there. So Stuart's out in. He'll have a chat, and obviously Stuart will push it for the league. Fair play to him, and this, that, the other. So I never expect that the Swans would try and ever rip the Swansea league. So when Stuart says to me it's going to cost 11 grand, from my point of view with the Swans, 11 grand is a base rate, right? And obviously I questioned it last year. But when you turn up, the problem you've got is if you want to open a stadium of that size, right, you have to have certain health and safety criteria of a certain amount of stewards. You have to have a certain amount of bar staff. You have to have people working in the concourse. You have to have the management staff. You have to have the reception staff. It's more a case of the 11 grand. Isn't the Swans making money off the Senior League? It's literally because it's an all-day event from 11 o'clock until 8 o'clock. You're paying literally, so Chappie, Lee Chapman plays for Morris Olympic, he'll work down it for 8 hours, even if he's on minimum wage of $8.21 an hour. That's like 64 quid. You have to pay him on his own, and then but you add up all the stewards, and if the health and safety board or the council say, well, if you want to open up that stadium for any sort of cup final, you have to employ this amount of staff on any day, and then you've got to serve people drinks and stuff like that. And then pretty much all the Swans are saying is that it costs us 11 grand because that's what it costs for that amount of time, for that stadium to be open, to be able to provide the services that we require. So, you know, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, people moan when the Swans give it to us and stuff like that, you know. I've heard
no
you
one
boys,
gives anyone anything.
I've heard you discuss it before, boys, you know, and stuff like that. You know, the Swans are under no thing to give us anything for free. All right, we are grassroots football, but what people just look at it as they should give it to us for free. Well, it's not give. They do give us the pitch and the use of stadium for free, essentially, but we've got to pay to have the other stuff that we need to have for the other stuff. So I don't blame the Swans. You know, they're in financial crisis. You know, they now run the stadium, so they are the ones that have got to pay the bills in the stadium. You know, whereas they're not just renting it anymore. You know, the Ospreys probably crowds are dropping, so it's probably falling on the Swans. They're for a very high wage bill. You've probably seen the financial Swans, so I don't blame the Swans at all for what they charge us, and they literally charge us base rate, but we literally just have to pay for everything that we want. So we have a nice buffet. You know, we have, you know, the stewards are really tidy, the bar staff are tidy, you know, like the managers, Matthew and all that, you know, no problem. They can't do enough. Honestly, when we're there, you were probably there.
Yeah, they were good as gold.
They can't do enough for us.
Yeah.
You know, tidy, everybody is just really tidy. But, you know, these people aren't just going to come down and work for free behind the bars on a Saturday afternoon just because it's the Swansea League finals. And rightly so, you know. So people get up, you know, about the Swans and how it goes, but I don't blame the Swans at all. But unfortunately, you know, the only way we can do it is we take a risk on it every year. So what we have the 15s and 16s, we rely on them being the driving force with everything because, you know, the grandfathers, you know, everything else. And luckily this year, you know, looking at it, you go West End and Astowie, two very well supported clubs, league rivals for a number of years, going through the through the system. You know, Anthony Wright, Adrian running them. You know, so you have a well supported crowd there with them. You know, Plough Porten and two local teams again. You know, we'll pile down there as well. You know, Sandfield's again good youth section. You know, very big club from top to bottom. And then Penlan and Astowie, both two very well supported clubs and two very well matched clubs. So I think, you know, you can look at things and get more of an idea and say, well, those 8 teams, they're going to be ticket sellers. Look at then the date, no FA Cup final, you know, this, that, the other. Okay, that'll be another ticket seller, you know, and you sort of manage the risks from there. But, you know, like I said, depending on ticket sales, we can go from breaking even on it. We'll never make money on the Liberty Stadium.
I was going to say that's
we don't make money on it. We could go. We are literally at the mercy of the clubs where we could break even and we could literally lose $4,000. $4,000 of money, which isn't our money. It's the club's money. Do you know what I mean? Because the clubs run the league.
So you take a gamble for, say, off the top of my head, when you were spending Malala's money on getting this fucking cup final down there.
Exactly.
And then $4,000 out, and then, okay, you wait per year, got the fucking lovely day out. But what about the other fucking clubs?
Exactly, and you've got to think of it like that. So that was the dilemma for the league council. Like I said, you know, people would say that I'm a club man. You know, I'm a very, very much I'm a champion in the clubs. I'm a champion for the referees. So when it was a case of like, you know, I was very much like, I want the 15s and 16s to be down there. I want the Gwalior and Senior Cup. I want the clubs to have it. I want the referees to have their day to bring their partners and kids down. I want everybody to have the joy of doing it. But then I'm a club facing bloke. I'm friends with the clubs. I'm friends with the referees, and I'd obviously want that for them. But you know, but then other people on the committee who obviously are very much
they're looking mostly at the numbers.
They're league men, this, that, the other, and they're looking more at the numbers of things. And obviously, you know, can the league sustain such a loss, this, that, the other? So it was a case of where again Liberty was sort of finding a common ground. So there was a talk of the club sort of making a contribution towards it, because we were looking at there was going to be a hole of about $2,500. The club's making a contribution, they'd sort of make a contribution towards it, and then they'd have a box and they could sell the box. But it was decided in the end that we weren't going to charge the clubs.
Because I think the last thing I heard, I can't remember who told me, was, can you believe they charging us to play down the Liberty? And obviously I was like, I don't know anything about it.
That's when you do open a can of worms then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. In a way then, you're being penalised financially for doing well, like, you know, because not all clubs, there's a few clubs probably really well run, got loads of money in, but I know there's a few that run really tight, you know.
Really tight.
And then then they got to take the gamble for the 300, 400 quid that they got to sell a box. So, you know, how much do you want to play down the Liberty then?
Because at one point, it was a real tight one, like, and you had half, a lot of people who were just like, look, we can't afford it, and they had their league hat on, and they very much like, we don't want to use it, and I completely respect that. And you had others, who were very much like, look, we need to give them the opportunity, to play down it. So obviously,
out of curiosity, is like 50-50, 60-40 doing that way?
We never really had a proper vote on it, so I can't really think it. But like I said, there were some people on one side, there were some people on another side. I'd never out people, whatever like that. But there was a little bit of a mixed. What you probably find is like, if, for example, Kevin Crabb is a committee member. You would probably imagine Kev would always vote to have it down there,
because he's a successful manager.
Exactly, so someone else probably wouldn't. A life member who's maybe been on the committee sort of 40, 50 years. And they've seen the league, and we've built up, our finances, would probably hate to see 50 years of finances just get washed away in one day sort of thing. So it's always a risk. So obviously what was sort of discussed at the time with the officers, it was left to the sort of officers to decide was how do you sort of fit a happy medium of giving the clubs what they deserve, but also minimising the risks of obviously losing the money. And this is where it was discussed of, a frank conversation of, look, if there was a choice between having the Liberty Stadium or not having the Liberty Stadium, would you be prepared to make a contribution? You'd have a box and you'd have other things just to make it happen. And all fair play, all 8 clubs were like, as you would, like I said, if I played for Sandfields and they said, look, the league can't afford to have the Liberty Stadium, but if you chip in 10 or your pocket, all the players chip in, it might have been the difference between having it and not having it, and you do it all day long.
I suppose that's the equivalent of subs.
Exactly.
Paying like a little bit extra
it was put to the clubs,
and
fair play, the clubs, they were happy, they went with it, but then obviously the committee decided it wasn't in keeping with the spirit, we can't charge clubs, and we didn't, and to be fair, we're not, so we're taking the risk with it, but, we're trying sort of different things, so every team that's playing over there, they're going to take 70 tickets. So it's not like we're charging them for 70 tickets. They then sell the 70 tickets within their club to people who are going to watch them. We'll say to every other club in the league structure, they take 5 tickets each. It's just to have a sort of guaranteed little pot of income, and then obviously the rest of it then we'd have to leave to chance of the gate. So, people don't see the ins and outs. They just see it should be over the Liberty, the Swans should be giving it to us for free, but it's not always as simple as that, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's not like the Veteran, who is like one fucking bar, Adi Griffiths bar. It's properly got to open the concourse. We've got directors' boxes. It's a different fucking.
And if obviously the Swans, if this had been the Swans when they'd first gone up, and they gave us, they might. I don't know if they did, but I've been told they gave us a contribution. But they just come up to the Premier League, man. Yes. You're earning 90 million, 100 million a year. Back then when we just come up to the Premier League, we were still earning the Premier League TV rights, but we weren't paying our players nowhere near what we're paying our players now. Yeah. So obviously, it's new, it's fresh. Let's do this, do that. So there's more chance of you getting it for free back then. But now, people have got to cross the T's and dot the I's. Unfortunately, the likes of Chris Perlman, fair play to him. He will. You look after us as best we can, but at the end of the day, I'm a manager, so I get it.
You got to answer to people as well.
You can't be sustaining a loss and stuff like that. Do you mean? So you've got to sort of look at where you can do things.
Well, when I saw it originally, when I saw you talking about it, and I went 11 grand, I've gone to myself, fuck me, that's excessive. Yeah. Without even considering what you've just told me now, I just gone, fucking hell, Swans takings.
Yeah.
Now we've explained it like that, it sort of makes more sense where the 11 grand comes from. It's not like they're probably only paying out 6 grand of that and they trouser in 5. They'd be worthless to them. Of course, 5 grand. You know what I mean? That's probably, like you said, to put it on. This is what it costs. You can have the stadium, but this is what it costs, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that. They're not hiding anything. It's like, bloody hell, the Swans are going to earn a couple of grand. It's nothing in the big scheme of things. And the press for them, if they were making thousands off the back of local grassroots football, the press would be bad. But they're honestly not. They are, the Swans aren't the problem. We're trying to work with them. because, you know, we're trying to get the interest in local football. It's like, you know, and the problem you've got is, you know, Penlan and Astowie are in the final, but, you know, like, other teams are not going to be interested, but, you know, particularly interested. But what we want to do is everybody to support everybody, because, say, for example, you know, Saints or whatever are not interested in that final, right? Which means that the numbers are down. If Saints get to the Senior Cup final next year, we won't have the Liberty Stadium.
Yeah.
So it's trying to get everybody interested, because it's in everybody in the league's best interest to support every other club in the final, because if the ticket sales go well, and for example this year we break even, as long as we break even, we will have it in the stadium every single year. It doesn't matter. They want us there.
What they should do is the teams. I know it's easy for me to say this because I'm not fucking involved, but if every team have got to take 5 tickets, that means even if none of the fucking players are interested, the committee men from those teams, because every team have got what 3, 4, 5, you know, first team manager, second team manager, third team manager, treasurer, whatever. Those people should go. So they're the representatives. Saints, even if they only send 5, they send 5. Roxburgh, if they only send 5, they send 5, and that builds the numbers. It builds the atmosphere, everything else, people there. That's what people should do. You know, really. Not just take the 5 tickets and not bother going.
No.
And I don't see a problem with it. You know, I saw Paddy up. I've seen Paddy up Monday with towards the end of the season, and I think Saints have played Penlan for 4 times. But yeah, there's a good 300 on the line.
Yeah,
you know, and if there's that, and if there's 300 on the line, you know, and that's neutrals. It's not Penlan and Saints fans. It's people who go up there. You know. If there's that sort of level there, well, why not have the level down the stadium? Because that could be you. That could be you next year. Like I said, everybody in the league structure has got a chance to get to the Liberty and play in the Liberty finals. They just have to win. You know, they just have to win their games. But you know, and that's just the luck of the draw. So what we want is for people to support every other club, because if we can break even and the committee's not losing money, we haven't got a decision to make. We're not looking to make money as a league. We're just literally looking to break even, because we can't sustain losing $2,000, $3,000 every year, because we'll just have to say, oh, sorry, we just can't provide it, because, you know.
Do you have sponsors?
We got a sponsor, DW Harris Solicitors. Right. They're our league and cup sponsors. Yeah, to be fair, they've been good with us. They also sponsor Penlan. I think they sponsor the Ospreys, and they do a lot of other stuff. That's just one sponsor, though, is it? Yeah, we just got one league. We used to have 2. We used to have a cup sponsor.
Pick Up Spares?
Pick Up Spares for years, years ago. It was
Pick
Pick Up Spares for years, and then Eastside Insurance, I believe, were sponsoring our cups.
Yeah.
And then Prescott Jones Insurance then was sponsoring our league, but obviously that came to an end last year. And DW Harris, fair play, you know, to Tommy and stuff like that. They stepped in and they are our league sponsor. So, you know, we try and push them where we can and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, they're a good league sponsor, to be fair. And we, like I said, we'll invite them over to the game.
Yeah, of course.
We'll obviously give them a bit of food, you know, same as all our guests, and you know, try and look after people where we can. Like I said, you know, there's 16 referees as well who are selected. You know, like I said, when it comes to the referees, you know, I got like 50 referees now, and only 16 can ref in the stadium. So rather than make it a political popularity thing, I just take the 16 refs who've done the most games for me in the season, and they are going to be my refs for the finals. You know, no thing about it. Really. Well, like I said, you know, what I want is, you know, I want to have the majority of my games covered, and it's all about, you know, when it comes to covering games, it's about quantity, not quality. Unfortunately, you know, like teams in reserve 3 and 4, they deserve to have refs the same as reserve team 1. So if, you know, for example, now Chris Saunders, new ref a couple of years ago, you know, he's like, he wants to ref in the stadium. He's doing 3 for me on a Saturday. He's doing all the midweekers, and you probably, all these refs who are competing against each other, because there's 50 of them competing for the top 16 places, you know, in the overall system, in the greater good, they're going to do more games for you because they're in competition for those 16 places. Do you get what I mean?
They know about this as well.
They know about it. I do the same every single year, and it's all online as well. So because I use a system where I appoint my referees on a website, for example, so I got all 50 referees on a website, and then you've probably seen the website. When it says like Penlan Saints, I click it and I put the referee in who's saying, And then there's a sort of thing in the background where only I can see, where it shows me, like, David Alder, he's done 10 cup matches, he's done 54 league matches, and he's done this amount of games.
Yeah.
And it's
if
just
he's
literally...
doing like a fucking 10 o'clock,
exactly.
12 o'clock and 2
See,
o'clock.
You got Sunday football, you got midweek.
So you appoint the 15s and 16s refs as well? Then,
I appoint every ref, but like I said, refs can do the 15, 16, 10, 30, 12, 30, 2, 30 Sunday midweek. So even if you're like a referee, like for example Garwin Davis, he refs Welsh League, but he's done every single Sunday this season. So he finds himself in the top 16 just literally because he's been loyal on a Sunday.
Right.
And we try and do it in that sort of way. So for the greater good is more games covered. And then those 16. So then with the other 4 finals then, the refs that have missed out, who haven't quite done enough games, I'll give them finals to those refs then. But then what happens is on the day of the game, down the stadium, I'll invite all refs down. So if you're not involved, come down and have a bite to eat, come down and have a pint. And just try and look after people. I'm more of an arm around the shoulder type of bloke where I'd like to try and look after people like refs and clubs and everything else rather than, perceived going to war. With people
of course,
and trying to. So that's why probably I say myself I'm more of a champion of the clubs and the referees than maybe some other people are with other leagues. So I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm just new school, I guess. I've been running play football now, so it's all about customer service based sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm of that mantra where I've grown up of trying to be friends and have a good rapport with these people week in, week out, rather than not have a good rapport.
I think that stands you in good stead being at play football, mate. In the case of seeing people coming back and forth, so getting to know people up there. I think that helps you in a way, like, you know what I mean? You're not this faceless fucking head of the organisation sort of thing.
No, I've never tried to be, like I said, obviously I am the general secretary, so it does, obviously I answer to a committee of X amount of people who obviously direct me.
Yeah, of course.
But I only meet that committee once a month, where I'd say to them, right, Paddy Cullen sent me this letter, or this person sent me that letter, and I need a decision, and then the committee make a decision by vote, and then that decision's given out. But I have 10 to 12 decisions a day to make just myself, which which can't be waiting to go back to a committee once a month. So I do run the league, and I've got those decisions to make every day, and I've got to live by those decisions, because people know who I am and they come straight to me about those decisions. So I try and do it on a basis of logic rather than being seen to be fair. So I've got a logic for everything. So, if someone says to me, someone's got a ref and someone hasn't got a ref, right? I will do it as Division 1, top of the table clash, would give preference. So Division 1 takes preference, then it's Division 2, then it's Division 3, and like that. So if, for example, someone's ref for Division 2 team, his missus is ill and he texts me in the morning, I'll take a ref off Division 3, which is like maybe a mid-table or bottom of the table clash, and I'll put that ref to Division 2, and I'll always prioritise my resources where I can, so people can't turn around and say that I'm favoriting Langdor in Division 3 by giving them a ref every week, when there's games in Division 2 there's not. So I try and have a logic, so if people ask me the question of my intentions, then there's always a logic and a science behind everything in my eyes, and which is the same with these referees.
How do you manage like South Gower Mumbles? How the fuck do you get a ref down there? Everyone probably wants the...
Yeah, nobody wants to go fucking South Gower.
Yeah. But then you also can't have the same South Gower ref every week either.
No, you'd be surprised, to be fair, with those places. You've got a couple of boys who live down that way. So Ken Wright lives down that way. Colin Sutty lives down that way, Dean Parker lives down that way, and another guy. So you've got 4 refs, Will Sheehan as well, 4 refs who live within that area. So what I do in a month is, Jeff Cadwallader tends to try and do it, so if South Gower first are home, South Gower seconds are home. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you'd have 2 games in a row, so I'd alternate. I'd say 1 week Will would go there, 1 week Ken would go there, 1 week Dean would go there, and just do it like that. So those sort of far-reaching places will continue to have referees, but you're not sending the same referees there all the time. As so I try to do it like that, and you know, like the boys then who like to sort of like your Chris Saunders who like to do 3 matches, you're more likely to get 3 matches in a main centre than you are maybe income level. So I try and sort of like base everything I can on logic. So if, you know, like I'm asked difficult questions every day, it's you don't have to lie then. It's just like, well, if someone comes on to me, I deserve to be in the Liberty finals. Well, you don't. You've done 12 games for me this season, whereas Chris Saunders or Kevin Elsey, for example. Kevin Elsey, who's top of my list this year, has done 82 games for me this year, right? Ken Wright second, 74 games, and then it's like 70s, 60s, 50s. You know, how can someone
numbers don't lie.
No, exactly.
Exactly. How can someone who's done 20 games?
It's not fuck the stats on it.
Yeah.
The stats actually work it out.
Yeah, exactly. So I just try and do it as best I can with all that. But, you know, like I said, we go on to after, there's a lot of changes happening in Welsh football. I don't think everybody's aware.
Before we go to that, me and you had a conversation a while back, didn't we? Right, about the refs. I had been to watch 3 games I ended up watching. I think we were talking about this year. It was Roxburgh and CRC, Penlan and West End, and Sainton and Astowie.
Right.
And they knew it. And that day, nothing happened in the Saints game. It was fucking a non-event. In the Roxburgh game, the referee was attacked. And in the Penlan West End game, the game got abandoned.
That was earlier in the season.
It was early in the year,
yeah.
Swansea at Bristol City that day, and I didn't go, and because the kids wanted to go and play.
I remember seeing you tweet like, "Oh, I've had a great time."
Yeah, it was entertaining for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like, so I spoke to Jamie not long after, and I said how I felt the referees in those other 2 games, the Roxburgh and CRC game, and in the West End Penang game, had acquitted themselves well, because obviously Jamie had done the podcast by that point.
Yeah.
And I knew how seriously you take the referee situation and how you personally invested in it. And I felt sorry for the 2 refs that day, you know, watching it from the outside in. And like I said in the past, there was no worse than being on the pitch, just calling a ref a fucking twat and that, and being a prick. But watching it that day, the boy who got punched, I'm not going to mention any names, but he was only 16 years of fucking age, like.
Yeah.
And I thought it was completely wrong. And I thought he could have just abandoned the game there and then, because it was only like 25 minutes in the first fucking half when he gets attacked by a man.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He sent the boy off, played the game through, done very, very well. And then obviously the Penlan West End game, you know, it went off. You know, I'm not saying, not mention any names again. It's no fucking, you know, it's no, I'm not spreading any fucking malicious rumours here. Everyone knows what fucking happened. They were fighting and he was in the middle, he didn't know what the fuck was going on. There's just 20 boys around him and he's gone, fuck this, and he's blown a whistle and blah, blah, blah. So I just said to Jamie when I see him, I said, oh mate, I thought the 2 referees, especially because they was young. How old was the other boy in the West End?
About 19, 20.
Right.
Kids,
right? I said, look, I don't know what you know, but I just thought the referees did okay that day, you know? How do you, what I'm trying to get to is not about the referees, but how do you deal with a situation, firstly, with a referee getting attacked, and then secondly, with the abandonment of a game? Go with a referee attack first. How do you deal with that as an individual? Because obviously you've got to deal with it to a certain extent, but then I'm sure that goes higher than you, something like that.
Yeah, so the way it works with referees is the referees are literally just assigned by me. So if I'm a referee and I register for the West Wales area as a whole. I don't say I can only do Neath League or I register for Swansea League. You referee as a West Wales, and there's a West Wales referees officer who oversees that entire process. And it's the same with all discipline. And now that's not saying that the league don't have an input with things. So for example, on that day, right, like I said, I assign referees and I've got a good relationship with referees, but I don't know the first thing about refereeing and refereeing process and what they're supposed to do and everything else. But the West Wales, they train all the referees and the referees go to the West Wales as a point of contact. So for example, on that day, you know, like one of the referees in the Penlan West End game has abandoned it. The other referee hasn't abandoned it. But then what you could say is is that there was a situation where even though the worst offence took place on the game that wasn't abandoned, it was just one person attacking another person. It wasn't a 24-man brawl, which, you possibly take one person out of the equation, the other 23 are fine and they're not looking to kill each other. Whereas in the Penland West End game, I wasn't there, but it was probably involved, so the referee didn't have much of a choice. So what the referee does then is he goes straight back to the West Wales FA. So Roger Upward, Di Rees, who are the referees people, they report back that there was an abandonment. There's this thing called a white paper report, which is just a complete thing of what happened. Number 4, attack number 8, which resulted in a mass brawl. I saw this, I saw that, blah, 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 white paper. And then it's like a list of people. I sent this person off, I sent that person off, I yellowed this person, that. So then Roger then will issue the correct charges then to those clubs. So first off, someone gets sent off, red card, there's no appeal to that apart from mistaken identity. So that person straight away, regardless of anything else that goes on, will be issued a 3-match ban if it's a straight red card and a £10 or £12 fine. It's just easy done straight away. Now the white paper report then is a different story, right? The white paper report then will be looked at and it'll be discussed of what actual offence has taken place. So if there's a big massive brawl and a team has caused an abandonment, like the West Wales will then deal with that and they'll say, right, say for example Saints will be offered what's called a reduced penalty. So they'll say, right, Paddy punched someone from thing which resulted in the game which resulted in the game getting abandoned. Paddy, if you plead guilty, you'll get 3 matches and £50 fine. If you don't want to take that plea bargain, as you call it, you can have a personal urine if you want, which you have to pay for, and then you'll go in front of the West Wales committee, which I serve on West Wales committee because I'm on the West Wales, but I don't deal with Swansea cases, as you can imagine,
because
conflict of interest. So you'd go in front of a couple of members, one from Carmarthen, one from Pembrokeshire, and you'd state your case. And if you do feel you have got a case, then that's up to you to state that case, and that committee then, or that thing would make a decision and say, well, based on the evidence given, Paddy's pulled out videos, Paddy's pulled out, statements, he's got witnesses, he's pulled in 20 witnesses, we find you not guilty. But that's up to you if you want to take that risk. And then that same panel then would offer the club the chance. So a club then as a whole could get charged for causing an abandonment, and then that club then could have a hearing if they want, and then they just make that decision. Now, for example, with the Penland and West End thing, is that the West Wales took it on, the West Wales made the decision, the West Wales had the hearing, both clubs wanted a hearing, they went in front of the hearing, they said what they said, they were found guilty and they were found not guilty of offences, this, that, the other, and then it comes back to the Swansea League then. It always comes back to us of what we want to do. But if there's a police matter, for example, there's always a pecking order. So if, for example, with that assault, the police would jump in first. They would do whatever they need to do, and then it would go to the West Wales. As soon as the West Wales are done, it would come to the Swansea League. And then, we can sort of think what we like. We could never sort of ban a player, so we could never say, like, Paddy, you're banned for 3 matches and fined £30, because that's not within our remit to do that. The West Wales and the FAW are the only ones empowered to do that. But what I do and what the league has is the power to remove someone's registration form. So we can say that even though Paddy isn't banned by the West Wales FA, we own your registration form and you are registered to play for Penland Roxburgh within the Swansea Senior League. We are taking away that right for you to play in the Swansea Senior League.
Like sign day sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much sign day.
Yeah.
We have to charge and we have to do it in the right way, but we can remove someone's registration. That doesn't stop them if they want to go and play in Neath, or if Neath accept them, or Pembrokeshire, but we can say we don't want you within the Swansea Senior League structure. So
that don't happen very often, surely.
No, generally not.
Yeah.
Like in exceptional cases, and that's if we need to do that. Do you know what I mean? Generally, if someone has done something as serious, that's really, really serious. I wouldn't foresee a situation where the West Wales wouldn't do anything to them, and then we remove their registration. If it's that serious, the West Wales will ban them, and we wouldn't have to. But what we tend to do in the past is if an incident's occurred where someone, for example, has punched a referee, that player might not get banned straight away because it might take the police a little bit of time to sort of sort it out, and then take the West Wales a bit of time to sort it out, and then that could be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want this player playing
during that period.
If there's a strong possibility that he has punched a ref or punched another opponent, so we then obviously as a league will pull the registration, similar to like if you're in a job and you get caught nicking out the till, you'd be put on a suspension straight away, just while it's investigated. Do you get what I mean? And that's what the only time we tend to use that, or if there's if it's a social media or someone's really hammered me or someone's like rung me and abused me, proper abused me down the phone, which generally doesn't happen, and I think most of the time I can talk to people and sort of sort them out, and I don't need to go down that road, but we do have that power reserved for that. So yeah, in that situation, the relevant bodies above us would deal with that, and then it would come down to us, and we do have the power then as a league to sort of say we don't want you playing in our league, etc.
I suppose that's a relatively new thing, the social media thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because who can't be fucking slagged, that was not even a thing back in the day, was it? So we've got to take that on board, I suppose, if someone's having a right old go at
especially if it's out there so everyone can
see.
Because you've still got an authority position, and you can't be seen to be taking shit from people, like, you know what I mean?
No, and that's a tricky one. Like, but luckily with the Facebook page, we do have the power to sort of to manage the group in the way we want to manage the group. So if someone's playing up, we can kick them and ban them from the group, or I can remove commenting. So yeah, I can just, if I put a post up that's pure for information and it's not about, I don't want people to comment, I'll just turn commenting off, and it's just an information piece. This is what's happening when it's happening. You don't need to comment. It doesn't need to get into an argument. What you find is the one that happens mainly is not so much people have a go at the league or have a go at me directly. It's people argue on each other's stuff. So two teams have had a bit of an argument, or referees given a last minute penalty. You'll find that those players will start arguing below that. So it's just trying to sort of keep that. Like I said, I don't enjoy fining people and stuff like that. So if two people are having an argument, I don't want those two people to get fined and banned. I'd rather them just
shut the fuck up,
shut down and sort it out themselves. But people don't. A lot of the time, like, I know the consequence. If I was a player, I know if I went on there and I started chopping about, a West Wales official, then I'm going to get done for chopping about that West Wales official, right? But that's not to mean that I can't be pissed off at that West Wales official. But just don't put it on social media and have a go with someone when someone has the power to sort of to do you for it. It's not worth £80 of your hard-earned money going to work for a day. Giving over £80 because you made a comment on social media. It's no point, is it? You may as well just sort of shut your mouth and put your money somewhere else. Do you get what I mean? And that's the frustrating with. But people get hot-headed and stuff like that. And one thing is with me, I tend to be is like more of a people person where if people ring me and they start kicking off, I'll try and like talk them down. I'll say to them, look, don't be stupid now. Just keep a cool head, talk about this, and I'll try and sort of talk to them and use more of people skills rather than like dismiss them and then just deal with them and just fine them. Do you know what I mean? I try and keep people out of trouble as best as I can. So if someone puts a status up and they're just like, oh, fucking Swansea League this, I'll send them a message, mate, do me a favour, just take it down now before someone sees it. Keep a cool head. And I tend to try and be proactive with that rather than just, because some people would just say, they don't care, and then just fine them after and just keep doing it like that. I try, if I have to do that with some people, I will. But if I don't, I won't. I'll try not to. Do you know what I mean? I try and give people the benefit of the doubt, protect people as best I can. Do you know what I mean?
So with the Penland West End thing, they weren't allowed to play at home for a certain period.
So the West Wales don't get involved with the whole home and away thing. They get involved with, we're fining you this, we're banning you for games here, we're doing this. So when it comes back to us, we rent the pitches off the Swansea Council on block. So officially, no club in our structure has a home pitch, but we will allow teams to play where they want to play. Only like Morrison Town and Pencloud, who own their own pitches, actually have a claim and say these are our home pitches. We rent the pitches on block. So this is why when I move people are like, oh, you can't move us from our home pitch. Well, it's not actually your home pitch. we allow you to play at that pitch, but it's not actually your home pitch.
Officially.
So with the Penlan West End thing, the committee made a decision at the time where they were doing the Penlan West End situation. There was a lot of fans or spectators involved in that situation, and the way to try and limit that happening again was to remove the spectator element of that situation. So Penlan play on that pitch right next to Tydno Flats. They play in West End. It's a real top of the table clash. Two teams that don't like each other. Because that game is outside Tydno Flats, you will have 50 people there that would not be there usually.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And same as maybe Paradise Park. So what the committee felt is that if you move Penlan to Ashley Road and you move West End to Mynydd Newydd, you're sort of limiting that element as best you can to keep those clubs out of trouble. And also Penlan and West End were sort of, I think it was Penlan or West End were ordered to sort of rope their line off.
Yeah, because roped off at that game.
Yeah. It's fucking nuisance actually.
It was
It is what it is. If that's
it's just because every club does it. And I get it, it's a frustration for the referee, but, people can't see and everybody's sort of 3 yards onto the pitch and then a quick break happens, the ball goes over that side, you see
but let's
back in.
That's one of that's part of the fun of Swansea League, isn't it? I know it's a nightmare for the ref, but unfortunately it is what it is.
No, exactly.
If you've just got 3 on the line, it's not going to happen. But if you've got fucking 30, 40, 50 on the line, then that's what it is, you know what I mean? I know it's a fucking nuisance, but...
The only time, like I said, Penlan were obviously forced to do that because obviously there was a perceived, that was a perceived problem. And actually, from the committee's point of view, is we didn't actually want Penlan or West End to get in any more trouble. We don't want the West Wales fining them hundreds and thousands of pounds all the time because chances are they drop out from the Swansea League and we'd lose them as a team. So it was actually thing there to try and help them. Like I said, if I'm a player for Penlan or I'm a player for West End, I don't care if I'm playing in Mynydd Newydd or I'm playing in T Canol. I just want a game. Do you get what I mean? And that's why when I move fixtures, I'd like to think the majority of teams, if their home pitch is called off, I'd rather play anywhere in Swansea just to get a game rather than home advantage in Swansea. It's not like you're going to the bloody Bernabeu or the Dortmund.
I feel like Arsenal.
Do you get what I mean? It's not like it's much of a thing. So that's pretty much it.
Do you think in the long run all the games will be at Mynydd Newydd and all the games will be at Ashley? Like as in,
this is one thing I was thinking about because when I went to that Saints Penlan game. There was only 2 games on at Mynydd Newydd, which was Saints Penlan and I think it was Ragged and someone. Yeah. It was on pitch on. And I remember the days where Paddy will remember as well, where it was 2 on a fucking Saturday afternoon, every pitch was being played on. And it was only today I was thinking about this. Do you think there would be a benefit to, instead of having these outside pitches, maybe not for like Savannah Stowie, because they've got their own, is sort of bring in as many games as you can to Mynydd Newydd.
Like the Acme Marshes sort of thing.
So for the earlies and the half twos, you've got a mass of people there because it's got a better atmosphere. People who are watching can watch multiple games. Is that something that could be possible?
Well, in the evolution of the game, in Swansea, for example. This is what the council identified as, is that the likes of, your Com Levels and your Paradise Parks and stuff like that were costing a lot of money because they were having to designate resources to these one pitch grounds. So this is where this system came in of the self-managed grounds. So what the council have said is, look, we cannot afford to put the groundsman on Gorse, which is one pitch, but if you care that much about Gorse pitch being your home pitch, you can take the lease off us and you can run that yourself. So, for example, Gorse, Com Albion and Compress in Com Level, they literally
got a couple of parts as well.
Yeah, so they open the change rooms, they clean the change rooms, they close the change rooms. Okay, they they put the nets up, they take the nets down, they do everything. All the council then have to do is send one person to 7 different grounds within an hour and a half and call it on or off, but they don't actually do anything to do with the ground. So
who takes on the cutting of the grass then?
So the council still do that because officially, like, the grass and the land is their land. You know, people are renting it off them for a game, so they still do that. But instead of them paying someone 60 quid a day to run Comet level or Gorse, they just make the clubs do it themselves, and the clubs just run it themselves. And what they do then is that they have a reduced permit price for that, so they pay less for a permit than someone like Saints would, because Saints would pay an extra 12 quid or 15 quid, which would cover Chrissy the groundsman up there or whatever. So that's why they reduce. So that's a sort of like a halfway house, I believe, before that, of that situation, because, you know, they have a reduced permit and etc. But if it really push come to shove, like Swansea Council were told you have to save this amount of million or that amount of million, if push comes to shove, ever came to shove, that would be a logical step that people would do. You would obviously congregate your assets into one place, and you'd say, right, we're going to shut down. We're going to make it impossible for Gorse or whatever, you know, to afford to play at Gorse or Cumberland Park or Comet level. You know, Comet level's different because Comet Albion actually own one of those pitches down there.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, apparently it was some sort of, years ago, like, it was gifted to them by the county of Swansea or something. So it's actually that pitch which is closest is actually their pitch.
Yeah.
So what they do in that instance is they move everything to the 3 main centres, Ticano, Menandewydd and Ashley Road. And, you know, it would be good atmosphere and stuff like that. And as you can imagine, for me as a referees, it would be easier to have them all in a situation. But then, you know, like, it would lose, like, you know, for example, Comet Albion Compress, they play within their own home area. I mean, the Ashlands and Banfields for the Portennant boys,
of course,
you know, they want to play in their own area. You
would lose that
the
individuality of playing at those places.
Yeah, but I think those teams, you know, fair play to them, have taken on these places because of that individuality, and obviously it's like a local community feel of a place. But unfortunately, I think if push ever came to shove and they were really, really forced, you'd have a decision to make about playing football and not. And this is where they probably, you know, Swansea Council would possibly, if their hand was forced, would say, you can only use these 3. But then at the end of the day,
there's a lot of land to be sold this year.
Exactly, but you know,
you think that how many houses, you know, Persimmon and something like that. There's a lot of fucking land on just that Gorse.
But there's a lot of. But there's, you know, obviously it's quite complicated. There's a lot of protections around certain places. So like Ashley Road, for example, has got a covenant on it. Now, even though the council own it per se and run it, there's a covenant on that land belongs to the city and county, the people of the city and county of Swansea, as a recreational thing. Yeah, right. So those.
It goes to show how bad I am a business when it comes to selling land. And I picked Gorse Avenue instead of the one that's right on the beach. The one that's worth 60 million quid. You can imagine. I just sold Gorse Avenue for 40 grand.
Right next to train tracks.
Yeah. You can imagine if Ashley Road was available to buy, Bay Campus would probably never exist. They would have just built it there right by the beach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, you know,
maybe like to be able to fucking park it. It's like my fucking house.
but with the main centres, I do try and do as much as I can. So like I said, if Comet level's off or someone's off, then I'll say, well, go up Menandewydd and get a good feel. You know, the cafe up there. You know, I know the guy in the Menandewydd cafe. You guys use.
Yeah, he just bought a fucking mansion down Durham Valley.
Him and his daughter and stuff like that. I chat to them and stuff like that. You know, and I like them to do well because you know, they're running a business. I like people to do well. I want people at Menandewydd or down at, you know, Ashley Road where the hockey club used to earn a couple of quid off people and stuff like that, and just, you know, just.
You know the crazy thing about Menandewydd though, the only bad thing, sometimes games can be determined by the weather.
Yeah, of course.
Like fucking
the Open Cup semi-final the other day.
That was like, I know we played Kilvey.
Literally a game of
quarterfinals. There was fucking 8 goals scored, and all of them were in the same fucking goal line.
Yeah.
And like it's literally fucking hell. This place is crackers.
Yeah.
It's just the windiest and coldest place in the world.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just
yeah,
unbelievable. It's things.
Matthew Bound is doing his next charity run up there. You know what I mean? With a fucking ski dog and all that. Honestly, ridiculous.
It'd be worse than Everest, I bet.
Yeah. But it's nothing you can fucking do. Like, you know.
Where that thing came from was my oldest boy played up there, probably second or third fixture from the end of the season, and pretty much all the pitches were taken. There was 13s, 14s, early mornings. Obviously, my boy's under 11, so they're playing in the. It's not the mini football, but
9-a-side for this.
Yeah. And then it was just tons of people there, and it was like
good.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was fucking, and I was looking around that day, and I was going, where do all these fucking kids go?
Yeah.
You know, because obviously we've talked about the first time I was here, they're not progressing as you would like into the seniors. Because if you look at the under 11s, it's strong. You know, I can't speak for the under 8s, my other boys, and there's loads of kids playing. Where's the fucking drop off? Because you talked about before the
youth league, the one I set up.
Yeah, is that still going?
Struggling. I think when I finished a couple of years ago, it was on. We had 24 teams, and I think it's down to 6 or 7 now. 2 years later, and you know, it's a real tough one. They got a really good, hard-working committee there, but it's hard. It's really hard.
What do you do, innit? This is why I always say, I know it's fucking this wrong, like, but you've got to look at the kids coming through. You can't look at them as kids. You've got to treat them as I've told you many times, innit? Thomas Todd put the other day, tagged his boy in a Saints kit. He's, I'm not sure how old he is, like he's only a kid.
He's younger than Kian, you're younger than Kian.
He's about 8, 9 or 7, say. And he said, the future. And I said, keep him safe, because in fucking 15 years' time, I'm probably going to be rooming with him in fucking Benidorm, right? We've got to look after these 14, 15-year-old kids and get them under your wing and fucking take them for a pint. Because they're going to be the ones that are fucking playing for you in fucking 5 years' time.
But this is what we have meetings with the FAW about all the time. Like, is literally the drop off between under 16s and senior football. It's like if they come into reserve division 4, a bunch of kids. So like I think Ragged did it a good couple of years ago. A bunch of 16s. They went up, but they joined the youth league on a Sunday, and on a Saturday played in reserve division 4 against some proper lunkheads, probably, and they get the shit kicked out of them and stuff like that. So what is the answer? It's like I met with the youth league and I put a proposition forward about possibly keeping this, because our 15s and 16s are strong, and we've been having Neath teams join us last few years. It's really strong, but that's mainly because of it's a good league, good structure. The chance to play the Liberty, this, that, the other, and possibly looking at, if the youth league was to go that way, would it be possible to keep these kids on under 17s, under 18s, still on a Saturday, but keep them on, just keep these kids playing football and keep them together as an age group. Do you know what I mean?
I think you could, I loved every minute I played in my work league. What was that? So it's under 18s, isn't it? 16 to 18. Yeah. So when you're 16, you're going in, you could potentially be playing against an 18-year-old. So what you're having is you're going to step up in the physicality if you're in that situation, like, without really being up against men. So you grow in to be 18 then. 18, you're a little bit more physically aware, mentally aware, to maybe make that step then. So, my idea would be like, is there any way of doing a Swansea under 18s league or under 19s league? Do you know what I mean? Well,
that was discussed, but then that would be in direct competition with the West Wales UC. So the West Wales Youth League is youth football, but it covers the entire West Wales area. So these teams have the opportunity to play in this league, but maybe because they don't know the league, they don't know the committee, they don't know the other teams, which in one sense it'd be nice to go and play against Merlin's Bridge you wouldn't have a chance to play against usually. Maybe sometimes these people, you've got a better chance of keeping them if you keep under 16s league as a whole. Just if I was to sort of call a meeting now with the under 16s team and say, right, do you guys fancy staying on an extra year under 17, same kick-off times, same coaches, same pitches, same referees, everything else, I probably guarantee that they would probably say yes, because it's an easy transition. They're already there as a team, they're already there as a unit, they've already got the players, the parents, everything is exactly the same. It's when they don't have that option anymore, where suddenly people will be like, well, some will go here, some will go there, some will start work. You know, would it be a viable proposition? Because when people turn 16, they go to sixth form or they go to college, different groups of friends, start getting part-time jobs on the weekends, and this is where maybe a large proportion of things fall apart, and it's just, I think it's just a societal thing. Is people just aren't playing football anymore. Like you can probably see with our Sunday league. I was gonna push it tonight about the Sunday league. I was
really shocked when I found out about.
I really need like the boys from the Swansea Senior League to really get behind and save the Swansea Senior League. We're happy to open it out distance wise. Teams who maybe on a Saturday, we're the only Sunday league around. If Swansea, Carmarthenshire League, Neath League, why not? If you're a Neath League team on a Saturday, you play for Ross or you play for Pontardawe, why not? Chuck a team in on a Sunday.
So it's just one league, division.
One we got one. So I think this is how bad it's in terms of participation on a Sunday has gone. I think 10 to 15 years ago there was 6 divisions.
It was.
We
started
now there's 7 teams.
No way.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
And a couple of them are struggling, and fair play to the boys who this is why we did that whole centralisation thing for the Sunday League.
Yeah.
So Swansea Council, so we said, right, we'll do the entire Sunday League in Monday with a central part of Swansea.
Right, yeah.
All the teams then who are in this Sunday League, they'll get to know each other, they'll get to know the refs, and there'll be a bit of a camaraderie between them, and we'll centralise it, and hopefully that'll save the teams. But and I think pretty much apart from the likes of Comet who've won the league in Newton, and every team has failed to fulfil 1 or 2 matches this year, and it's tough and I get it, do you know what I mean? Like I said, like for example Glanmore, they got a Sunday team, one of my customers, and play football, so I speak to him on a Thursday, and Danny Nicholas who runs them, tidy boys, like, James, buzz in, I got 16 players this week.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, they got 6. Because Sunday morning, everybody's dropping out, and there's literally nothing you can do to stop these people. It's just like, what?
There's no stamina pad, we used to go straight through, didn't we?
Yeah.
This is
and win the league as well.
This is the difference.
Half-term drinks used to be Cardi B's, I remember. You know what I mean?
I think that's the difference. People back in the day used to turn up pissed, but at least you're turning up.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, they just don't turn up. Do you know what I mean? I think that's
lazy
the whole...
cunts.
Exactly. So I'd love to try and save it. I'd love to for it to go next year, even if it's like an 8 or a 10 team league.
Yeah.
It's a start, like, do you mean?
Yeah. You know, a shame, isn't it?
It's a real shame.
When you look how big like Swansea League was, and then I just don't know. I haven't got the answer, like
No, Saturday.
So I'm looking at that Cocket side, mind. There's not many youngsters in it.
No.
There's a few like Chafee, Grog, Johnny Harding in the kid no more. And the ones I'm thinking, fuck, was the youngsters in that team, like,
And we keep doing stuff all the time. So like when I come in, I first thing I did was at the end there was a rule that no Welsh League players can play. So I changed that rule straight away and said, right, let's have, each club can have 3 Welsh League players playing, because you find that the Welsh League players do take it a little bit more serious. The likes of Stephen Hughes, those sorts of people who take football a bit serious, and they'll have a game on a Sunday, and it's just extra players in the league, keeping these teams going. And we did that 2 years ago, and some teams have players, so Nicky Holland plays for Newton, Ryan Morgan and Calum Rees now play for Cocket, and Stephen Hughes was playing for the Mile when they were in, and these Welsh League players are in there. But it's just, how do you stop the quantity of rot? It's just you literally, you got a hole in the boat, and you're just tipping it out with a small glass. It's tough. I'm out of options with it. I just want the boys to just club together and just try and save the Sunday League, because I wouldn't want to be the secretary that saw one of the biggest leagues in Britain on a Sunday just go down the pan. Do you know what I mean?
There's no League League, no Carmarthen Sunday. No.
Literally, Swansea Sunday League is the only Sunday league around here. We've got 7 teams in it. It's a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
People are just caning it on Saturdays these days.
Well, like the extended opening hours,
it's all little factors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, every little factor contributes to the reason why, fuck, it's weird because we was like, we would have a squad of 20 like back in the day, us versus single, and Mansell and all them all started at the same time, and it was like a battle going up, and Union was strong, if I remember.
Union were very good.
Yeah.
You know, you got up at top and you had DNL and Sandfields.
Yeah.
Teams like that, you know, and it was proper competitive.
Yeah,
When
fuck,
me,
yeah.
You know, we played DNL on a Sunday at Tyrcannol and we beat them. Fuck me, I mean, just got made off a pitch. Remember, it was proper
really competitive.
proper,
and I was talking to Jeff Evans the other day. Back in the day, I don't know if you boys would be old enough. They used to have a Thursday league as well.
That was before our time.
That was way years ago. I don't know when it finished, but
I played in a Friday league when I was my old man. They had a works league. It was on the Morver AstroTurf.
Yeah.
So they obviously remember them over. They had 2 pitches up there, didn't they? So there'd be games on a Friday night, and my old man had a team up there with Cave Street, where he worked in the council, and they had some good boys playing from, like, you know? And they were short one day, and I was like, "Oh, will you come up and play?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, right." Chucked me up front, like, I was only 15 or 16, and I just played with them. And I played with them for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know what I mean? Just playing as much as you could fucking play, like.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved that. That Friday night league was really good. It was really good fun. But like you say, now, you know what I mean?
It's just a shame, boys. Do you mean? If I can save it, I will. Do you mean?
I was talking to Leon Thomas about it in a week as it happens, and we were discussing that because obviously our kids play together. His oldest boy now, Harrison, plays for West End. That under 15s.
He's playing Sunday.
Right. So, and you know, we were talking about this transition from the youth. You know, I think Harrison's going to be one of those kids that probably steps up. You know, he's already with Avalido, I believe, because they've got this sort of. I found out about this recently because my oldest boy got asked to play for Port Talbot Town. So they've got this they've already started
academy
league thing, haven't they? So next year under 12s, at the minute he just played in a couple of friendlies from. Next year, if he was asked to play, he'd be playing in a proper league, wouldn't he? So I've been to watch him twice, and the step up in standard at under 11s is massive. Right, really, because they take all the best kids, don't they? They take all of it. It's like a select team. They just take out, and the standards there. So I can see why the good kids, they don't go into the Swansea Senior League, because they stay in these academies. They play for West End and Astawi, but they take the 6-7 best West End boys and the 6-7 best Anastawi boys, and then they all play for Avonlido on a Sunday.
Right, yeah.
James Norman, actually, I think something came up about that on one of the social medias, and I believe James Norman commented saying that that there's a lot more opportunities for people, for kids, rather than going into the Swansea.
So you think about
no such thing.
There was no such thing. When we were kids, if when you hit 16, you could go and play in the Work League, or you played in the seniors. So there's got to be, especially the good quality kids. They've got to be losing them to these academies early, and then they would step up. Like I say, I'm out of touch with all that type of stuff, but if there's an equivalent of them at Work League now at 16, 17, 18, maybe even 19, that's where a lot of those kids will be. When they get used to that standard and playing on Stebo and Victoria Road in Port Talbot and Britain Ferry and places like that, they're not going to want to come and play at Paradise Park, because they've grown their whole career, from say 12 onwards, playing under the floodlights with stands, right, on much better quality pitches. Don't get me wrong, I've seen a few fucking dodgy Welsh League pitches as well, but that's what they're used to. So they're more likely then, even if they don't cut the grade, let's say with Cletley for argument's sake, because Cletley in the top tier now, I know they're probably going to get relegated. Maybe if they're not good enough to step into Cletley's team there, maybe they're good enough to play for West End's Welsh League side. So they're playing at that higher standard. I think it's easier these days. When we were younger, it wasn't such a thing. You played. There was less players playing Welsh League than there was playing Swansea Senior League. Yeah. Nowadays, anyone who's real good, if they've got the desire, they can just play their whole lives there. The likes of Lee Sherman. Lee Sherman's never going to play in the Swansea Senior League. He would never play in the Swansea Senior League.
Believe me, we fucking asked him.
Right? Because Lee's played his whole... He played for the Swans and that, didn't he? And then he's played his whole career, and what's Lee now? He's got to be 30, 31, is he maybe a little bit older than that?
Oh, sure, he's drunk from the fountain of youth, isn't he?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's up there, he's played for Carmarthen Town and whoever else. He's just played Welsh League all his life, so he doesn't see the Swansea Senior League as he's not going to go, fuck it, I'm 38 now, I'll drop down. He's just I'm going to finish. And that's where a lot of it gets... that's where we lose a lot of players, I think. It's because they're just staying, if they are good, they'll just stay in the Welsh League now all the way through, like, you know. Whereas, like, we just, like, I know, there was a load of boys that played in our era that could have easily played Welsh League, but they weren't fucking interested.
Yeah. And the league was so strong back then.
You didn't feel like you needed to.
You didn't feel like you needed to. You know, you could have the sort of benefit of playing local football, you know, and still play it at a tidy standard. So you wouldn't have to travel very far, but you'd still get to play at a proper tidy standard of football. Do you mean? And you know, like I said, obviously for various reasons, it is what it is. But we just got to make the best of things that we got and try and keep the standards and improve the standards for everybody.
But like, do you see the thing on Facebook about the longest running clubs?
Yes,
it was interesting.
When you look at that, right, you think, fuck, there's a lot of history.
A lot of history.
Massive. You know what I mean? A lot of history. It's worth fighting for, innit? You know what I mean? It's fucking hell. Some clubs like early 1900s, you know, I can only say for definite with the Saints, like 1921, 100 fucking years of history. All the stuff that have happened in our time, you know, in these clubs, fucking unbelievable, mind.
Yeah.
The history of the league, like, you know, is...
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like I said the same last year. I got the Senior Cup and the Division 1 Shield currently in my house, and I like to have a little look at it. And it's like over 100, 120 years old, and you got teams on there I've never heard of in my life, and it's a massive shame. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, that these teams obviously have got the rich history and stuff like that, and they're no longer around. Do you know, like I always assumed like West Ham, for example, would have been like one of the oldest, 100 years old, but they were like
50 years,
60s.
You know,
Kamal being a lot of people were saying about them, you know, and Harvard brother.
They
were mentioning about them. They unfortunately folded and stuff like that, and you know, and the people a lot of the time that built this. The club's history, I guess, taken over by younger people or whatever, and the younger people maybe don't understand the rich history of the club, and to them, like they fold the club. You know?
Fold the club too easily.
I think that's why it's important to have people like Paddy who bridge the gap, if you understand. So if you've got a committee that's just all old men and you've got 18, 19-year-olds coming in and maybe no connection, like, you know, when you have guys like Paddy, with the Saints, was using Paddy and Ashley Davis and, you know, boys that played in our time but are still involved, Miser, you know, boys like that. It's very important. Like, there's probably not a lot of clubs that have got that, and then that's how the club can sort of just dissolve, like, you know.
And his characters as well.
Yeah.
Miser's probably one. Take away Fender. Fender does everything. Without Fenders, there would be no fucking St. Joseph's. Fender does everything. But Miser is a very close second. Not just with the stuff he'll do like off the fucking pitch. Like, not like Saturday, no little thing. Like, you've organised like end of season trip every year without fail. You know, for the last fucking 5-6 years, like same as Saturday now. No one else could do what Miser does and like organise, like we are fucking local league side, mate. We got 2 DJs and a fucking band, for fuck's sake.
Smoke machine.
You know what I mean? And a smoke machine, like, you know what I mean? You just invested in a strobe machine as well.
Yeah.
Only there's John the landlord, he's epileptic, he has epileptic fits. So he's tampering with that at the minute. He's not happy, like Miser probably put it on the slide. And but fuck me, you know, it's the stuff like that keeps the fucking club going, isn't it? You know, they're the fucking things that make the fucking history of the club as well.
Because I remember Miser a couple of years ago, he brought through a 16s team, didn't he?
Yeah,
and obviously then having him as a coach, it went to 16s, and then he obviously put those into the Saints. The Saints have benefited massively from that. So if it'd be nice, you know, for like Anthony right now, who's got a quality 15s team, or Anastasia or Adrian who's got a quality 15s team, you know, you would love, Anastasia and West End would be loving it if when those kids get to 16, 17, they could chuck those entire kids into that club structure, whether it's first, seconds, thirds. That would benefit them massively, wouldn't it? And it's about sort of having someone like Anthony, or you know, or Adrian from Anastasia, who is like Miser, who really, really cares about the Saints. And really, really wants to get these kids to benefit the likes of those clubs that they're with. It'd be nice for them to do that, wouldn't it? Do you mean?
So, fuck yeah.
West Wales Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Because we touched on it a little bit before when we first heard about it. Obviously, we don't know the facts of it, so give us the facts of where this all came from.
So, the FAW have had like a sort of like a revamp from top to bottom, where they have reclassified everything and changed everything, and there's sort of like levels of the pyramid system. So what they've done is reclassified the pyramid system. So obviously the football instructor of Wales, now level 1 is the Welsh Premier League, right? Level 2 would be the Cymru Alliance, the Welsh League, you know, but it's all done in levels. So now what they've done is they've separated out the levels to be more specific, to try and sort of like bridge the gap between the levels and mean that there's more of a fluid thing between clubs going up and clubs coming down this pyramid system. So what they've done is they now call the Welsh Premier League is the Welsh Premier League. They took Welsh League Division 1 and the North Cymru Alliance, and they've called them the Northern Championship and the Southern Championship. Exactly the same as the English stuff. So they feed then. So literally, the Welsh League is not the Welsh League as you know it anymore. It's pretty much Welsh League Division 1 is called the Championship now, right? Which is classic.
Is this now or from next season?
From next season, right? And it's for example, it's the Championship, similar to the Swans would be in the Championship. And there's ground criteria, and you'd have to hit certain things, etc., in order to be in this championship. And what they'd say then is that the most teams within this championship who would attain a minimum level of what they set would then be better prepared to then go into the Welsh Premier League. Whereas, you know, the FAW don't want it where every team that's winning Welsh League Division 1 every year, like when West End did, don't want to get promoted to the Welsh Premier League. They stay in the Welsh League. They want it so there's a constant feed of teams going up, teams coming down, you know, with the ground criteria. So anyway, so it was all classified. So level 1 Welsh Premier League, level 2 was a championship, and then they took then level Welsh League Division 2, Welsh League Division 3 and their equivalents in North, and they call them level 3 and level 4. Now, the West Wales have had pressure put on them. It's been the same for years, but there's 6 associations in Wales. And in 5 of the associations, all of those leagues, or the South Wales, Gwent, North Wales, have all got what they call like a central county league, Gwent County League, South Wales Alliance League. So it's like within their area. So the South Wales Alliance League, it'd come down as far as Port Talbot, and it would go up as far as Cardiff, and that is the league below the Welsh League. So if you were to win, you'd have to win that league. You'd have to go to Cardiff win, you'd have to go to Merthyr, you know, and you'd have to win that league. But the West Wales is the only league that doesn't have that. Okay?
Right, okay.
So the West Wales system has worked differently, whereas you've got the Pembrokeshire League, Swansea League, Neath League and Comanche League are all sit at the same level of the pyramid, right? But what they're saying is that we don't want that anymore. If you want to sit at level 5 in the pyramid, the FAW said, if you want to sit in level 5 of the pyramid, you have to have a county-based league, okay? Right. Which means that you have to have a county-based league which feeds into the Welsh League. Otherwise, we're going to declassify you as level 6, and you've got no chance then of going up to the Welsh League because there's no sort of pathway because of the levels, etc. So what the West Wales have come up with now, which sits at tier 4, is the West Wales Premier League, which is starting the season after next. Right?
This is 100%. This is
happening. The West Wales are pushing it, it's happening. So they've spoken to teams all around West Wales.
So this would be Swansea, Neath, Carmarthen, Pembrokeshire.
Then 4 leagues. It would be a league made up of teams from those 4 leagues, right? So what they're planning to do is having 2 leagues of 12s, possibly like an East and a West model. So like anywhere from Carmarthenshire down to Pembrokeshire, they would have like a West league, and then maybe teams made up from up here would be an East league. And when it was first touted, there was talk of it that what they do is take the best 3 teams from each league and put them in like a super league. And at the time, people thought, well, that'd be a cracking league. Yeah. Penlan, West End, Anastawi, Goodwick, Hakin, whatever, Lucha, that'd be a cracking league. But what it is that it's not quite as easy as that. Where there's a very, very strict ground criteria on it, which pretty much wipes out the majority of Swansea teams. Right? Okay. Because of the ground criteria. So, for example, Pembroke, they all own their own grounds down there, right? Really? Well, if you go down
Yeah.
there, they've got like nice little clubhouses. They've got nice little setups down there.
Yeah,
Each
I can
village
see
has
that,
got its
yeah.
own ground and stuff like that. They've got their own pub. Whereas up here, we all use council pitches. Compared to to down there. So you'd probably say that they were, even though maybe not as good football wise as our players, they're more prepared for this
They got a
change
better
than us.
setup,
Yeah. So it was asked to, for clubs to sort of express an interest in who would want to go into this league. A couple of mainly teams from Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire said yes. Not many Swansea teams. A couple of sort of inquired, but it doesn't mean that they would go into it, etc. But I'll read out the ground criteria now because it's a lot. It's a lot for a club financially.
You've got to fund it, haven't you? Yeah.
You'd have to have covered dugouts.
Right.
It would have to be boundary fencing around it. I mean, you'd have to have like a first aid, a stretcher available, separate dressing room for match officials. The change rooms have to be literally really close to the pitch and stuff like that. And our thing, what it was, Mynydd Newydd or Tigano, they'd never let you put barriers around one of their pitches, would they? They'd never, so that pretty much rules out most of our leagues. But obviously the West Wales, are pushing it, etc. There is talk of they possibly gonna relax the ground criteria of it just to get teams in and stuff like that. But it just seems to be a bit up in the air at the moment because we've said we haven't had a meeting about it for a while. But the West Wales have said, look, this is happening. The league is going to be set up. It's going to probably start with 12 teams, not next season, the season after. And this is happening. So yeah, it's just a bit of a mad one. But judging by obviously the extent with Swansea, I'm not 100% worried, particularly because our clubs don't, like I said, at the moment, I think if a lot of our clubs wanted to go Welsh League, if Saints had things to go Welsh League, they would have done it already.
Yeah, I agree.
And no one's gone Welsh League.
Sometimes you just got to know level, isn't it?
Exactly.
Nothing better than a West Wales Cup game, fucking great, the day out and fucking, obviously the chance to play the final, Liberty. But doing that every week, I don't think it's feasible. People work Saturdays now. A lot of people work Saturday mornings. So straight away that rules you out then of leaving at 10 o'clock every other week. It's fucking more or less impossible.
I'm on the fence with it. I'm a West Wales committee member, so I have certain elements of for and certain elements I get. Obviously, my loyalty is the Swansea League, and I wouldn't want our teams suffering and going because I'm being selfish because I want the Swansea League and our committee want our teams to be with us because obviously if we were to lose 3 teams from our league it would devastate our league
as well.
It would
when we talk about standards and fucking numbers, all of a sudden goes again and even lower that.
Exactly, and I think a couple of Kevin Crabb put it perfectly where he said, well, our players and some of the Saints players are good enough where if they want to play Welsh League, they could go and play Welsh League tomorrow and earn a couple of quid, right? But they don't because they don't want to travel. What they say is this West Wales Premier League is the travelling but without the money.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the likes of like someone like good enough like Luke Chappell, he wouldn't want to travel away. He'd only travel away if he's getting money, or he wouldn't want if he's not getting money. He doesn't have to travel away. So it's sort of incorporating. So what I think would happen, like I said, is more sort of Pembrokeshire teams would obviously be interested in this because they got the ground criteria, and maybe if more teams down that way wanted to do it, then that would work for them. But like I said, this is coming in. Not a lot of teams don't know a lot about it. They've obviously been thinking about it, but as next season goes on, I think we've got a couple of meetings. It'll step up and it'll become more within the realm, and everyone will know about it and stuff like that. But I don't think they know yet, particularly what it's going to look like, etc. Because if your ground criteria is too strict and people aren't hitting it, you're not going to get a league.
Of course,
so it's about balancing.
A lot of clubs don't yet. I don't think would have the money to do it. Like if nothing else, So I'd have to get
Swansea League Division 1 is one of the strongest leagues I've ever seen in my life. I mean, and would it be a harder league to go up to that league, or would it be an easier league? Because
of course,
if you're not taking the best teams from every single league, where does the criteria end? For example, like if Comet Albion had their own pitch, which they own Comet Level, and they put a barrier around it, and no one else in Division 1 thing.
yeah.
It doesn't become the West Wales Premier League then, because you're not having the 12 best teams in West Wales playing in the league. So where does it get devalued then, when the likes of a Division 2 or a Division 3 team, which nothing against those teams, are playing in the Wales Premier League? It doesn't really work, does it? Do you know what I mean? So I think, you know, they've got a lot of questions to answer before that, whereas these other leagues, the South Wales and Gwent, they've been sort of like established for years. The best teams go up to the South Wales Alliance League, and then they get promoted to the thing, which is what Trevelyan have done recently. They've gone through that structure. STM Sport, they've gone through that structure, but I think it's hard to set it up initially.
Yeah.
And then obviously the cream of the crop, which is the 12 teams, rise to the top.
Oh, Trevelyan, a relatively new club.
No, they're not at all. Trevelyan, actually, the chairman, Steve Green, actually owns S&R Trophies, who provide our trophies.
Right.
And hell of a club over, do you know where they are? By Tesco in Port Talbot.
I don't know.
So you come off Tesco Port Talbot and you go towards a place called Comet.
Yeah.
And on the right hand side, that's their ground. They got their own clubhouse and stuff like that. They got trans playing up there and all sorts of them. You know, well-run club, but they've literally just gone from the South Wales Alliance.
up there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just a manager.
You've got like a veterans team, Barty, they train.
They're good to be fair, and they've sort of built it up. They've gone to the Welsh League from the South Wales Alliance League, and they sort of going up the leagues and stuff like that. And they got a good little setup going. I use them as an example because they've gone through the structure recently. But you know, not every club is like that. And they're not lucky enough to have their own ground, their own bar on the ground and change rooms. It all costs money. I was talking to Village. I was talking to Bob Lloyd tonight down at Village. And I said, just look, out of interest, you know, how much did it cost to have floodlights put on a pitch? 47 grand.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Who's got 47 grand to put floodlights on? And you'd have to put change rooms and stuff first, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's just expensive, and it's just like it's hard enough getting a fiver out of Billy Bob on a Saturday. Oh, I'll pay you next week or whatever, and then he's out in town in the night. Let alone getting 47 grand. You've got to have
fucking 30 foot in the air changing the bulbs.
Exactly. You've got to have a real community feel about that, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? And it's just it
is a lot of dough. You need basically you just need someone who's prepared to fund you.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone who got a few quid is go, fuck it, don't worry, I'll just pay for all this like. I ain't gonna pay for Trundle to turn up every fucking Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, and obviously, you know, along with that, they got this Comet system coming in as well. But that's coming in next season.
What's this then?
So the Comet system is the FAW's new thing. So at the moment, everybody's registered on a database. Like, for example, you sign a form for Saints. You sign that form every year. If you want to transfer, you sign that form. It's going paperless. So now, for the first year, they're setting up this Comet. So this is all of Wales are going online in this system. You will now, for the first year, you will be signed for a club for life unless you transfer.
Right, so you won't have to do it every year.
So you won't have to do it every year.
That's more.
So that's that element, you know, a lot of people are very positive for, because what the FAW worked out, say for example, there's 100,000 people in Wales play football, 90,000 of them don't transfer clubs year on year. It's just the 10,000 who go between this. So it's going paperless. So it's going to cost each player a tenner when they have to register themselves on like an app or on this Comet system, and it sort of like tracks like everything about you, like goals, assists, and stuff like that. So it's all going online, right? It sounds good.
Once Champy signs, he can only transfer by doing it online. I'll nick all his fucking computers. I'll cut his Wi-Fi and everything.
So yeah, pretty much you're signed then forever for a club unless you transfer, which in one sense does get a bit of control, because if someone owes 50 quid or 60 quid, you know, they have to go to the FAW, and I don't really know how it's going to particularly work with that element. But the second year is where it gets really complicated, and there's obviously a concern amongst a lot of grassroots football that is built for, you know, your Welsh Premier League teams, your Welsh League teams who've got the resources, you know, but one man and his dog down a park, you know, is going to struggle, because the year after next is coming in with team sheets are going to have to be done on a mobile phone, right? So what he'll do,
Fenders on his Alcatel,
or an iPad. So for example, now Paddy, say for example, like you've got 20 players from Saints registered on this Comet system. They got a little card with their picture on, which shows up on the thing, and you registered, you paid your money and everything else. So Fenders is there, and he's picking a team, for example, for Saints Penland. So he's clicking right, in goals, click in this person, defence, click in that person, and then if you click that person, it'll say, Paddy Cullens is suspended, you cannot pick this player, right? And then you pick them, and then it things in, and then it tracks goals, and the referee has to do it, and it's quite complicated and stuff like that. And I like the idea of it, but the practical element of actually doing it
Saturday
local football.
afternoon and the pissing down
Yeah.
Exactly, it's not quite thing, and there's obviously.
I tell you where it's class for the players, right? If you're a player and you don't have to do none of that shit,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
you're one of those players that fucking scores a couple of goals
Yeah.
and this and that, you're going to be going home on a Saturday night, oh, look at me on a Comet system. It's
not like doing the Sam Allardyce photo chip shop.
But everybody's on it. Coaches are on it. Yeah. Everybody, literally anybody associated with any club is on it. And the thinking behind that is like, you know, in terms of junior football, so they can control like the element of, you know, like safeguarding officer, so they can control that system better. Where, and fair enough, junior clubs, they need a first aider, they need a safeguarding officer. So in that sense, I think it'd be good where they need that compliance element. But with adult football, there's just a real concern. This system is coming in. They've paid like $1.5 million for it, the FA,
right,
and from next season, there's paperless. You won't sign on.
So you would just like say I'm running the Saints now. I would just download an app.
That's the season after next. It's this season for Welsh League, but this season it's literally just the registration element. So there'd be no paper, so you wouldn't sign a form anymore. You just literally have to sort of like, if I want to sign up, I'd have to log in, create an account, pay my £10 fee, and then I register myself to Saints, or I register myself to this part, to that, the other, and then every season then, say for example the cut-off is like the end of start of August, I will then be signed for Saints, and then I just have to pay my £10 fee to renew, and I'd be signed for Saints. And you know, and a lot of the feedback is positive with that about the whole registration element of things. But the thing within our committee is the whole like, you know, this works at like that sort of level, but down below it doesn't. But I guess it depends on who you've got in your club.
Yeah.
And it's still unclear of the lengths that it's going to go to, because, you know, they've changed certain elements of it now, because obviously, you know, I'm sure there's the same story. They've gone to North Wales, they've gone to South Wales, and they're telling them the same stories. Well, you know, how come, you know, like Billy Bob, who runs, you know, Keith Norwood, for example, runs Blind and Mice on his own. He's, you know, he's a volunteer, he's keeping Blind and Mice going, and you need the lifeblood of those people within the league. How's Keith going to know how to work an iPad? What happens, you know, if you're down South Gow and you haven't got a signal and you can't have an iPad? The thing is, you know, what you need a sort of paper element to fall back on, don't you? Do you know what I mean? So it's just all confusing at the moment. So the committee, obviously, they got a strong position where they're very much against it. You know, it's happening, but like I said, it's the clubs that have to ultimately decide on, you know, on this situation, and I guess we'll have to think they've got workshops where they're training people on this system, and it's just a bit confusing at the moment for everybody.
Crazy. No, isn't it?
It's just bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think this club like Saints will be alright because they've got a lot of volunteers and stuff like that.
Oh, they got some thick fuckers, man.
But it might ruin some clubs. Do you know what I mean? So this is why
I'm worried what they're gonna. If you're gonna have like players are registered, coaches registered, I'm worried what my role is gonna be. You know, resident pill taker.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Sure, like,
people just messing around, putting all sorts on
village
it.
idiot.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
What's gonna be my role? Will they have the picture of me? You know.
You'd be texting Fender after this. Fender, just a quick one. Just clarify my role and what it's going to be.
He needs a position.
Exactly.
Official position.
Yeah.
I think chairman.
Club president.
Yeah.
El presidente.
Yeah.
I think
and you would get them to call you.
Patron.
Yeah,
you would get them to call you.
Patron.
Right. That was. Did you want to? Is anything else you want to cover?
No, that's pretty much it with the Comet system. Yeah.
Because obviously I didn't know a fucking single thing about that at all. Obviously I had
a lot
sort
of people don't. Do you know what I mean?
a little idea about the West Wales thing, and obviously that does seem like an edit just thinking about that.
That's not for me.
No.
And it's not for
we are way too old school for that.
Oh, good lord.
But then I can see, if it works, the sort of benefits. Everything is like this these days, isn't it? You know what I mean? And the appeal that it will have to certain.
Oh, listen, there's people sitting in an office in the FA. Oh, this is great, isn't it? This is absolutely brilliant.
And some people it is, like maybe the younger administrators.
Yeah.
Like I said, I run play football and we use a similar system, but the five-a-side industry they have, because it's more of a newer industry, and I'm used to a system like this. So like I said, if we adopt this system, we don't, I'll know how to use it and I'll get on board. And you've got some of the younger administrators, they are for it. Some of the older administrators are. I think it's just the fairest thing is if you're going to bring in a system like this, is finding a common ground that everybody can sort of get on board, like if there's possibly an option, better training and stuff like that. I think that's the fairest way you can do it, because you've got to be inclusive as many people as you can. Yeah. People who don't know how to use computers, is there a little, all right, the majority have to use computers, but is there a little paper element you could use for there and then possibly you have until 10 o'clock to upload it. Yeah. I think that would be a sort of happy medium, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? For the people who are maybe not as, as computer tech savvy as other people, do you know what I mean?
Right, I think it was all the Swansea League stuff.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Onto my hair now.
You beat me to it.
Absolutely incredible what has been achieved.
Absolutely.
This is what's the Welsh FA shit.
Yeah.
I got another 2 months of growth. It takes a full year to grow, it does.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the fucking process?
So, pretty much, a bit of background, like I said, everybody's got like a sensitive spot on it. Same with blokes, girls, somebody want a tit job and stuff like that. My thing, like I said, has always just been my hair. Like I said, for some reason, like growing up,
because you're younger than us.
I'm 34.
Right, so you're quite a bit younger than us.
So I forgot that. But like I said, my hair started going like on the sides and sort of on a crown, like early 20s, and it's just weird how different people are and stuff like that. And as I sort of got older, like I said, it became more of a thing, more of a sensitive spot. And actually, like, I'm not going to out people, but I have a lot of messages off a lot of boys. I never before. I feel like it's a dirty secret between me and these blokes. Like, maybe they're messaging me, and it's blokes who I never even knew had even problems with their hair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're messaging me, and they're like literally going for it. I've had 3 boys, they won't mind me thinking. Luke Darling plays for Penlan. He's gone over. Mate Jordan Ribeiro, he's gone over as well. Used to play for Village, and they've had it done recently, and and this, that, the other, and it was my sensitive spot. So I sort of knew. I was speaking to one of the girls from the show Valleys, Natalie, and she'd gone over to Turkey, and I heard about Turkey with they do a lot of stuff, and I sort of priced up hair transplants. Like, I think it became a bit bigger with the Wayne Rooney thing when he had it done. Remember? And that's when it sort of came into the mainstream of like thing. Yeah. And David Silva's just had a proper big one done.
Oh, so that's why he shaved all his hair off, Silva, was it?
Yeah, because he had a hair transplant. If you look at him now and the difference is he's had a proper hair transplant. He's had it done in the UK.
Yeah, he probably
and I priced it up, and it was coming up at 11.5 grand, right? So I spoke to Natalie, and then she was saying...
Could have hired the vet.
Exactly, I know. Tell me about it. And obviously, and I'd spoken to her, and she said they do hair transplants. So I thought, I'll ask them anyway, just to try and, for a bit of interest of the difference it is. So I spoke to them, she put me in touch, and they messaged me and said, look, we'll send us like a front, back, and side picture of your hair to give us a sort of 360 view of it. And then we'll sort of, like a doctor then will sort of diagnose like what sort of hair loss you've got. Like there's like different sort of types. So if you just going in your crown, it's called a something level 2, 3, depending on how much hair is gone. And they'll diagnose you. And then what they'll do then, it's all done on like the amount of grafts you have. And then they'll diagnose you. So they turn around and say, you are a blah, 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 blah. You would require 3,500 grafts. So I turn around and say, right, so what... the thing. So there's an unlimited sort of deal on, for example, which up to 5,000 grafts. So you literally, the price is 4,000 or 5,000 grafts. If you need 2,000 or you need 3,500, it's the same price. So I said, well, what's the price then? And they came back £1,250.
That's fucking
right.
Fuck all.
£1,250. So I was like, are you serious? Yeah. I said, well, what does that include? And they were like, well, you have to pay for your own flights, which are cheap to Turkey anyway. Istanbul. This was in Istanbul, right? But you have 3 nights in the Hilton included in the £1,250, and all the transfers. So they literally meet you at the airport, transport you to the hotel, take you to all your appointments, all the aftercare, all the shampoos. You have like Skype calls, the operation, everything's included in this £1,250. You just have to pay for your spending money, your food, and obviously your flights. So I was just like, well, a bit of like bit of a spontaneous bloke
Yeah,
compared to some people.
yeah.
Some people would take like 6 months planning it. I was just like, well, when's the soonest I can come? They were like, next week. I was like, fuck it. Well, I'm obviously the manager of football, so I booked the time off, and I fucking just didn't try to think about it too much. I just fucking booked the flight. And I went over there. So I went over there, and what they actually do is they take the hair. So all this hair I've got at the front is from the back of my head.
Right.
Right? So it's actually my own hair, but it's from the back of my head. So literally, it don't hurt much, but so you're in the front, and then they stick the needle and anaesthetize your head so you can't feel any pain. And there's this machine then, right, that harvests all the hairs from the root deep inside, right? You can't feel it, but they take it out. So then obviously there's like strips of like flesh, and what they do it in rows, right? So even though I've got scarring, my hair covers it, and it'll always cover it, right? So next thing, right, is pretty much as simple as like the next 4 hours I'm sat there with an iPad and I've got 2 doctors above me, and they're pretty much making 3,500 fucking holes in the front of my head. So they shave all your hair off, and it's as simple as process, right, of no messing around, of a pen of where you want your hairline to be. So they pretty much drew my hairline, and they said, right, it's there, and you can see because even though you got a skinhead, your current hair and what's missing.
That's what you see with all the little dots, yeah?
The dots, yeah.
They do the dots manually.
Yeah.
Shit.
But you don't feel it. Yeah. You don't feel it because, like, obviously your head's completely anaesthetised me. They could have been banging me in the head, and I wouldn't have had a clue what was going on. So they made all the holes, and they took the hair, took the flesh, and they literally manually inserted 3,500 hairs in my head, right? So obviously I had like red, it was all red across here, and I thinged it, and pretty much from there, it takes like a full year to grow.
Right.
So I'm not allowed to like, I can have my haircut, but I'm not allowed to like shave it off. So if I pull off like a Jason Statham look like yourself, like I can't do it until it's been a year. Because
they don't recommend
the hair beds in, it does. So obviously it's like it's there, but it's not natural. So what happens is the hair's there, so they take the hair as a hair and they put it in the front of your head. But like what apparently your body does is that it goes into shock and you shed all your hair.
Right.
So about 3 weeks after I had it done, I had like a full hairline for like 3 weeks, like perfect short. It was but then your body sheds it, and everybody does. It just goes into shock, and then it grows like from the root down deep inside. So like I said, I was like bald, I was like yourself, whatever, like and for months and months, and then suddenly it just started growing and growing and growing and growing as well. And I also take something called finasteride. So that's not for everybody, but what happens is the drug developed where your body produces this chemical called DHG or something like that, whatever it is, right? And this drug stops your body creating this chemical, which is the only thing that causes hair loss, right? So literally your body just decides one day, I'm going to create this chemical, and whatever, your hair is just going to stop. Yeah. So it literally is a pill for the rest of my life I can take, where it stops this chemical being produced. So my hair will not be inhibited by anything growing it, right? So not only have I had a hair transplant, but I've got nothing stopping my hair growing as well. Because it would look stupid if for example, I by 34, my hair's this thing back, and I've had this transplant all the way forward, but that wouldn't stop my existing hair getting balder, would it? Because everybody's hairline's going further back. So I have to take this. So I'm maintaining the same standard, and I take it, and like I said, now my hair just grows mental all the time. I have to have my haircut every 2 weeks.
Fuck, no way.
Serious, yeah, and that's because of the transplant. Obviously, I got more hair, but the problem is I'm so used to like, whereas I was going here and I had like a comb over and stuff like that to try and hide it. I didn't go bald gracefully. I had a comb over. Now I've got a full head of it. I just don't know what to do with it because it's literally growing all the time and stuff like that. So I just haven't got a clue to do it. But yeah, I do get.
Jaimie got a style. Fuck, I wouldn't know where to start.
Honestly,
it
actually causes like proper stress. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I have to be doing buy hair products and everything.
Does it bother you when you started going short on top? Because I will say this, you can pull it off.
No, let me tell you. You fucking insulted me by saying I've gone thin, right? Because up until about...
What are you telling me you're not gone thin?
No, up until about 6 months ago, right? I just thought I can just grow my hair and just have long hair. But then when Well, I ain't time, as it happens, I'm sorting out. My daughter shaves it now. She thinks she's fucking Vidal's a suit, so I'm sorted. She fucking shaves my napper. But when we got, we buy the £14 fucking rate shaver from Argos, say we're going to £5 haircut and all that. If I'm going out, Donna will shave my head out the kitchen. Realistically, you should shave it every Sunday. But when I was going out, say we left it for fucking a month or 2 months, in my head, I think, fuck, my hair's long. But like, because I'm 6 foot, no one really sees the fucking, right? So my missus says, fuck you are fully bald, you know that, don't you? I went, you fucking idiot, shut the fuck up, fucking Papa Smurf. You can't see from down here. I said, up you are, I'm fucking full head of hair, like.
Yeah.
Until, we haven't got many mirrors in my house. We got a mirror in the bathroom, I put it up wrong, you could only see my chin, right? So I don't really see myself much, like nightmare in the morning when I brush my teeth and I got fucking toothpaste all over my mouth, looks like I've been on the whiz. Not like the guy from ID, I'm taking whiz in my cornflakes like supporting Shadwell, right? So my miss says, you fucking bald as a coot, like there's nothing there. I said, you are. I said, if I fucking didn't shave my head for 5 months, I'd have fucking lovely fucking...
Because I've seen pictures, you used to have a lovely head
hair,
back in the day, didn't you? Like proper,
you know, iconic that photo is. No, remember that guy got shot in Tiananmen Square holding the bags? That's what that photo of me going to Martha's is like, right? So, in my head, I got a full head of hair, but then all of a sudden I started seeing a couple of mirrors, and I was thinking on the side, in a great deal, but on the top I got this fucking thing in. But it boils down to, I don't really give a fuck. But we all got different insecurities.
Exactly, you know, and everybody's got their own sense.
Yeah, of course, I can easily see.
My old man used to say...
To me, it's alien. Like, him flapping about who hair is like, to me, is the fucking, that's ridiculous. He wants to worry about how everyone's going to work the apps with a fucking Welsh league.
Exactly.
That's why you haven't got no fucking anniversary.
It's controlled caring though. Like I said, I didn't care enough about my hairline for 12 grand. But 1,250 a price to pay. I care enough about 1,250 to say, well, what's 1,250? I may as well get it done because that's an accessible price. I didn't care. I wouldn't give a shit if I had to pay 11 grand. I never pay 11 grand. I don't care that much. But because it was so accessible and it was such a good job and everything else, I crack on. And that's why I think so many people are following suit.
He was going. My old man's really dark, right? And obviously I'm really fair, but. He used to go on grey like when we was younger, and I fucking fuck off grey head, and I know we would wind each other up. He said, I may go grey, he said, but he was going to go fucking bald.
Oh fuck.
That's what he used to say to me. That's when I was young. And then when you're 21, you don't give a fuck, do you? I shaved all my hair off when I was a kid, you know what I mean? So as I'm getting older now, still now, truth be told, don't bother me, but sometimes I catch myself like. And I'm thinning on top, which I never was. Like I've sort of gone in the corners because like my hair was long on top.
It shows more in water. I used to find water.
Right,
When you go to water, and obviously your hair's wet, it shows that there's some real gaps there.
Like I jumped out the shower earlier, so my missus now bought me this fucking caffeine shampoo, right? I told her
it don't work, does it?
They said, Team, you're wasting fucking time. I said, I don't care. Oh no, you might not care, but I fucking care. She said.
No, they do. To be fair, like I said, they do it. You know, people are quite judgmental, and some people like the ball, and some people don't. It's just like.
What I worry about is Paddy been pulling off for years. You've been shaving hair for years, really. Though,
I can tell you the exact day. What happened? I failed my driving test. I had this long hair, and I got to be honest, man, it was ridiculous. It was a time.
Like a marsha, were you?
No, I was a raver more than anything. But when I was about 14, I had my hair. I had short on the sides and long and curly in my eyes. It was in my eyes. It was down to
curtains job. Like
no curtains. It was over my eyes,
and
it'd be dripping white with gel. Right, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I never get Dazzy Jones had long hair, and he used to tuck behind his ear. Him and David Batty. So they was my influence then.
Yeah.
So then I'd have a side parting with a curly hair coming down. Once again, ridiculous. They called me the lampshade, the fucking lot. I looked like a fucking half-wit. And then I failed my driving test, and my hair blew in my eyes. I failed something, and I went down and they said, shave it all off. And then since that fucking day, around about fucking 1995, it's just been shaved all the time. Grew a little bit in Malia, just a fucking tiny bit, but give or take, fucking, it's always been. it's just fucking easier getting up in the morning. No thought to get
Oh,
up
it's
in the morning.
amazing when you shave all your hair off, getting up in the morning. It's just a different world. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
of course,
It's just like full circle for me. I was like scared of being bald, so much I had it done. But now my hair is actually pissing me off.
Right, yeah.
Right, and I'm actually thinking to myself, I don't want to like have a bald, but a number 2 and just maintain a number 2. Have like a perfect hairline all the way around, but it just be really, really short. So I don't have to fucking style it all the time because it pisses me off. It takes like 5-10 minutes in the morning. I have to have a brush and an air dryer.
If I'm getting out of bed, mate, at 20 past 5 minutes, when my hair's shorter like this, it's not too bad because I haven't had it cut now 2 weeks ago, like, right? But give it another week now, I'll be getting out of bed in the morning, my fucking hair be sticking out like this, and I'm like, oh, I got to deal with this shit now. I have to go to work, you know. I do, you know, that type. I do miss having the like, because I had it as short as panties when I was shaving all my hair off. It probably don't look right on me, you know, and my head's in Elvis shape now, especially since I got glass, because I got this big lump on this left hand side of my fucking head, like, so I don't even know. But I will shave it all off. I will.
I think it depends on your shape of head and stuff like that. Yeah. Some people pull it off, some people don't.
There's more people doing it than more people going out to places like Turkey than you'd imagine, isn't it?
Well, like I said, when I went out there, like it was in the Hilton. It's a nice thing, and this sort of like company, this clinic centre, they sort of like use this hotel, and it was like walking wounded in it, man, right?
Really?
I think they must do about 100,000 of them a year, right? Fuck. And it's just, and it's not just like not just hair transplants. You had like nose jobs out there. Teeth veneers are very popular. I think they're about $4,000 they are, but they look quality, but obviously, you know, each to their own.
So then you've got to be careful with the crispy beef as well. Some people haven't got the mouths. The teeth look
exactly. It just looks like Ryland. It just looks huge, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's this one. I was staying next door, and I made friends with this glamour model from London, this girl called Montana, and she had what's called a Brazilian bum lift or something like that. They actually gave her liposuction from her stomach and injected the fat they'd taken from her stomach into her arse to make her arse big and her stomach flat. She was in absolute agony, mate. Absolutely. And it was like literally.
Of course, she got to sit down. Good job they didn't get her notes mixed up. Otherwise, we'd be on that committee with Jeff Evans not being able to fit in the seat. And Montana be there with a fucking centre parting.
Exactly, Montana be enjoying herself. I'd have an arse to die for. I'd be giving Kim Kardashian for her money and all sorts.
That don't sound right, see.
Oh, mate, honestly, like this whole tourism, this health, you know, stuff, tourism is mad. People go to Thailand, people go to Turkey. It was just literally, I'd say, within this hotel, you know, there was only one restaurant. You know, it wasn't much going on around it. I'd say at any one time, there were people just like 30, 40 people just walking about the hotel, going there and stuff. Like I was chatting to, I've got, you know, a couple of mates I met out there because we were there for sort of 3-4 days. You had the sort of procedure on the first day, second and third day. Then they sort of check you up, so you got nothing else to do. So me and, you know, in Istanbul, it's quite a tidy place. It got like these markets and stuff like that. You can buy all the knockoff stuff. So we were like going to markets, going out and you know, going out and stuff like that. And
knockoff bottles of wash and go on there.
Exactly, like I said, and it's just everything. And it was quality, and that's when, like, you know, when the hair started growing, like people started messaging me, and a lot of people still message me and stuff like that. But it takes people to actually go and do it, like Luke Darling, Jordan Ribeiro, and Daniel Green and stuff. They've all gone out since and they've done it, and they're in the sort of early stages of doing it now. And I saw Luke earlier, and his hair's looking quality, and it's just like, well, it's just a done thing.
Oh,
you know, they got their boob jobs and shit like that.
Yeah,
like I said, what's the problem with the boys having a bit of something for themselves, isn't it? Do we?
It's fucking quality. I think it's a great story. Like. It's fucking.
I'm genuinely interested. Like, how the fucking process.
I was genuinely because I thought it's just going to come back like, say, like really thin ball. And like Wayne Rooney's at the start, he was thinking, what's the fucking point? There's hardly anything in it. But then all of a sudden, then it fucking seems to grow really.
Because you see Wayne Rooney every week because you're watching football. Like if you don't see Jaimie for like 6 months, you're like, fucking hell, Jaimie, where's all that come from?
Come back like you've been in Jumanji.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly, and like, you know, people take, like, say, like, you know, you can help it, like take the Alpacin shampoo. I don't know if that works. I did that for a bit, and it just.
She bought it for me.
It takes 6 months to show.
Nice.
Every night, then going up the shower, I was like, make sure you use shampoo.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get a fucking. You know?
Who's going to stick with that for 6 months? And what even difference would you notice?
Exactly.
With that,
I
you know?
don't get too
They
fucked.
cowboys, these German fucks.
I don't get too bugs about that.
Yeah.
Before we fuck off, we got to talk about Liverpool Barca last
Oh
night.
my lord. It's something special about Anfield and the fucking... part of me, I'm sure I said last week, mate, I could see it happening.
Yeah, there was a
I didn't think it was
corner.
going to, right? But I was thinking, fuck, that seems to happen this day and age. When I was fucking in the 80s and shit like that, people didn't used to win like 4-0. Remember like Germany beat Brazil 7-0 in the World Cup? Results like that never used to happen.
Because defending's
Oh, last night was like, I'm not fully surprised that happened.
No, especially when I saw that they'd scored early.
6th minute.
Like, I forgot to turn it on, and I went upstairs. Actually, I was just doing notes for tonight, like, you know. And I looked on my phone. I was on Twitter, and all of a sudden it came up like Liverpool had scored Origi's first goal. I thought, oh fuck, here we go, chuck that on. And then I got to half time, and it was only 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought, am I going to try and stick this out? Because I'm one tired fucker.
Right.
And I'm laying in bed and I put my iPad on my chest. My missus is watching fucking some bullshit. It was Full Monty shit or something on TV.
Oh man, I've had a fucking...
Well, the actual Full Monty.
They're doing like a one charity.
Oh, that
my
Megan.
telly's fucked at the minute. We can only have Channel 5. So the football's on, I gotta fucking watch Cruising with Jay McDonald. Jay McDonald in an Indian outfit singing Jay-Ho! Fucking absolute fucking shit.
I saw the second goal. I fucking dozed off.
Yeah.
When Ronaldo scored the third, I dropped the iPad on my face. I was like, pang, what the fuck? I woke up and Ronaldo had scored the third. I thought, come on, Ryan, you can stay up for this.
Yeah.
Got I fuck.
Oh, never.
I only found out the result this morning.
The worst thing is the banter where they're all like, I'm a Man United fan, and there's a couple of us like me, Chrissy Crow, and all that stuff where we take a piss out of Liverpool and they lose, and when United win and stuff like that. But then on the opposite side, you get shit like Bones. He's on the other side. You just can imagine he goes out a lot of shit. Like, you know what I mean? And Crowe was fourth official in the final, and I spoke to him. He's like, I've come off social media. Were they giving me shit? And I was like, mate, you have no idea, right? They put your face on this man where the guy is sat in front of VAR, and they were just like ripping into Chrissy Crow and stuff like that. I was thinking, Joe, I'm glad. I bet he's glad he's off social media, because my assistant manager, my duty manager are Liverpool fans. As soon as I walked in, they were just beaming, like torturing me.
I couldn't believe on Twitter how many United fans were literally saying, fucking hell, this is where our club should be. You know, there's a lot of United fans giving them. It's hard not to admire what happened.
Oh, it's fair play to them. Like I said, overall, like, you know, with the whole coefficient and 4 teams qualify for the Champions League, you should want the English teams to do well in the Champions League, because if they started doing shit, there might be only 3 teams qualify or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So as much as pains to say, they did really, really well. I didn't expect them to beat Barcelona, mate. I mean, I always thought to myself, they might score 1 or 2, and they might win the game on the night, but I always felt Barcelona would always score a goal away from home, and then the whole, like...
Spurs. That last goal, he done brilliant. Trent Alexander.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about that, see, would you?
No.
I wouldn't have even thought about it.
Do you know what they reckon? And we hate these fucking analytics stuff, right? Do you know where that goal's supposed to come from? Right? Liverpool were told the ball boys before the game, always have the balls ready to go.
Because he chucked one in and then grabbed the other one.
Because they reckon, the analysts, Liverpool's analysts, have noted that Barcelona, when it comes to corner set pieces, they take a couple of extra seconds
Spurs in the
to switch
final.
on.
The Spurs won.
That's what I was just trying to click on. They beat Ajax 3-2.
Fucking
Lucas Moura hat-trick, scored in the 96th minute to go through on an
oh
away
my
goal.
God.
Do you know, there's something about I would have. I was fair play to Spurs, but I would have enjoyed Ajax.
They
deserve it. I think.
They play some lovely
like,
stuff.
Yeah.
But that's
a great final, though.
It's weird because it's in June. It's in June the
1st.
3rd.
June the 1st.
It's usually
I'm
like
in a wedding.
May.
I'm in a wedding that day.
Take
my
YC,
Oh, of course.
I haven't decided where I'm going yet.
It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock kickoff.
Is it?
Oh my God.
Steaming, mate.
Try getting in Carragher's bar, but it's fucking fully booked already.
I went there last year. I went to New York for a wedding. I went my mate's wedding. They got married in Central Park, and we went there. And they got some good stuff in it, like like flying balls and stuff like that. It's quality, to be fair. It's good.
So you're trying to get something booked in early for Champions League final
it's
in New
already
York.
done. It's already
Then
done.
they got so many sports bars. They set it down to Times Square. They got all sorts. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking 3 o'clock kick-off. Spurs Liverpool, that's a great game, man.
Is it a 3 o'clock kick-off, really?
Yeah, well, North and
New York.
York,
It's the evening over here.
Yeah.
9 o'clock in Spain, so it would be 8 o'clock over here. But that's a great final, that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, the analysts noted that Barcelona take 2, 3, 4 seconds when his corners, throw-ins to come round, like.
Well, it was schoolboy stuff, that was.
What do they? Is that because like Barcelona has to do with their shape and they have to take certain time to get back to because it's quite technical. Their whole thing in it. Do you mean?
No, all this Premier League's the best league in the world. It fucking probably is, mate. Simply because, like Barcelona, they are all their own way every fucking week, in my opinion, don't they? Whereas, I like Man City would have fucking walked away with it. But beginning of every season, you could probably say, it's hard at the minute because City is so good, right? But at the beginning of the season, you could say Chelsea could win it, Liverpool could win it, Man City could win it, Man United, I know they got dog shit, but let's face it, they finished second last year.
Yeah.
Man United, City, you've got 5 Spurs, you've got 5 or 6 who are in contention in it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Spain, you've got 2 really.
And you don't get easy games or you don't get gimmies, do you? I said, Barcelona in a new camp, right? They're not losing. Probably one game.
Well,
2
look
games.
at that Man City game. Like, companies, it took that goal from Company. Leicester were doing really well.
I watched their last 2 games, the Leicester game and the Burnley game before it.
Big
The Burnley
games,
one was like millimetres over.
Yeah.
You know, they made it. Both those teams played like their lives depended on it against Man City. They didn't give anything.
And it showed like the last 8 winners of the La Liga. It was like Barca, Real Madrid, Barca. Liga 1 in France, like PSG. Germany, Munich. And over here, it was City, Chelsea, City, fucking Leicester.
Yeah.
You know, what other fucking league in the world is like that?
It's definitely the most entertaining league.
But that's obviously, you know, to do the distribution of the money, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, because every club gets the same of thing. Whereas over there, they don't give a fuck.
No, they just get out of the
Real Madrid and everything
Barca,
happen. But what happens is their league, they help them out as well. So if Barcelona they are playing in the semi-final against Liverpool, they'll give them a shit.
Yeah.
They'll give them a shit team at home on Friday night, and they've got like 5 days or 6.
Well, they cancelled the game again, didn't they? Barca didn't have a game.
Yeah.
Barca didn't have a game.
But like I said, but I don't understand why the Premier League don't help out our clubs.
Well,
it's very true.
Do you know what I mean? They don't need to, but you know, in general, you would think why they do that. But yeah, no, I was fair play. I was down the West Wales final, and it came to 1-0. Jones, I was just like, Barcelona have to score. And then the West Wales Cup final finished then, and we went into this bar, you know, the players' bar, whatever, and it was on. It was just like fair play, fair play.
Yeah,
because do you see after the game, all the players went to the cop, and he was saying he never walked alone. He like Dalglish should rush, arm in arm, swaying. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Then do you see the ball boy run on and flick Messi?
No,
It was class. It was a fucking ball boy.
I didn't see
So it was either when they scored the 4th or when the whistle was blown. A ball boy run on the pitch, run right by Messi, told him to fuck off and run back off. Now he's probably sacked now. However, that's fucking great.
He'll always have that though, won't he?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Right in Messi's face, fuck off.
I don't know what I'm going to do about winning football now. It's like, I think to myself, I do a nice break now, but it pisses you off.
I agree.
You don't mind a couple of weeks, and then you start getting fucking antsy, and
and it's probably going to be, obviously in terms of the Swans, it's probably going to piss us off. Like it's going to be a really pissed off summer, and
and it's shit when you're having the World Cup and that. Well, when you've got Euros on, you know, fucking look forward at least
I was going to do a fucking full season review on the fucking Swans today, but we've gone on.
Sorry, boys.
No, that's no problem. I'll do another type of shit. We've done every fucking week.
Yeah.
But it's going to be. It's potentially to be a very stressful summer for the fucking Swans.
Yeah.
You know, I remember saying to you last year I was going to watch more Senior League.
Yeah.
Which I did watch more Senior League than I had in previous years. But the Swans ended up becoming so entertaining to watch that I went and watched more Swans this season than I've watched for probably 3 or 4 seasons. Well, since I gave my season ticket up maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Because at the time you didn't expect it to go like it did to do.
You know, and we've become a real entertaining team to watch. with a side that you fucking really feel like you could get behind, players that seem to care, you know, and even if we fucking lose, like we chucked that game away against Hull the other day, you know, I get great shakes, you know what I mean? It's fucking, like last year, there was nothing to get behind, there was all mercenaries, there was all this fucking negativity, the atmosphere was toxic, you know. This year, there hasn't really been any of that. There's been frustrating parts of the fucking season where you've gone, oh, we lost to Ipswich. We were fucking brilliant against Ipswich at Liberty and we lost 3-2. I came away, I wasn't like heartbroken. I was like, fuck, we were amazing. I don't know how we lost that.
I haven't been to a single game this year where I felt that we couldn't compete in.
Yeah.
Like last year, it was like, oh shit, we got this, and it's like you know, this team. And this year, I was just like, Leeds, you know, West Brom, bring it on. Like I said, we will compete when we'll have the majority of the ball.
It's a big difference going down, being in the game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're going down and thinking, oh fuck, how much are we going to get stuffed by? When you're actually in the game, it's fucking... Yeah. You know, it's a hell of a difference.
I used to say,
there's nothing wrong with being a yo-yo club.
No, not at all.
Nothing wrong at all. Like, you look at Sunderland now, and they might be coming back, you know.
West Brom,
Leeds, for example, now, you know, Leeds... West Brom's a good shout, yeah. Back in the mix, like, so, like, you have a fucking season or two where you fight in relegation, then you might be mid-table, then you go down, but then you're back in the mix, to go back up. And you might every day at Wembley, and you fucking, you know...
Yeah. We like to go and see watch your team, like you say, be competitive, and have a chance of winning games. You know, and in the Premier League, it became a chore to go and watch them. Whereas this year, it hasn't been a chore. Don't get me wrong, they played poorly when I've been down there on a couple of occasions, but only on a couple of occasions. Because majority of the time they've been fucking great to watch. At least, like even if they haven't got the results they deserved. So
and the conundrum the owners have got now, I think, is that. I'd say hardly anyone has renewed their season tickets because I think, they know that, right? But that's not to say that people won't renew their season ticket. I think if they were to keep every player apart from possibly one, Daniel James, I think it's inevitable he's going to go, or maybe one other, Grimes, they're probably going to be in for him because he's quality. Yeah. I think if it came to the transfer window slamming shut and Swans have got the majority of that side. Possibly one or two others. I think they'd have a sudden thing of everybody renewing their season tickets.
I've been thinking about it because when I went down with Stallman to the my boy Stallman, we were out where I used to have my season ticket in East Stands, great seats on the halfway line, and James was telling me that like 14 people on his row were not renewing. Stallman's renewed, like, you know. He said there's seats here. He said you can come and sit with the boys, like, and I was thinking. Shall I? I was like tempted, and I was like, "Fuck, do I?" Because I wouldn't buy one just for me. I'd buy one I'd buy a kid's one, so I could take either one of my boys. And we went like, and then I was like, you know, do I want to go if we've sold McBurney and fucking Roberts and Zena and all this and that? So yeah, maybe if I roll round, when would the start of the season be? September, August, right? And this transfer window's closed, and we've got the base core of this team here with a couple of hours. Fuck yeah! If I got the coin, I'll go down.
And I think a lot of people will. And if you don't, if they don't, and they have a mass exodus and stuff like that, and you fancy going to game, trust me, there'll be enough tickets available. Buy a ticket, and I think that'll be the case because it was always going to drop because people renewed their season ticket when there was an optimism they thought the Swans were going to stay up. And then when the Swans were relegated, everybody had already committed to buying their season ticket.
Last year's tickets were given a March deadline. Yeah. So last year's tickets that they sold were still tickets.
Exactly, and we were looking good when we at one point of staying up. So I think it was always going to be a drop. But I think, you know, like I got a season, I haven't renewed mine. You know, from my point of view, it's like, you know, I run the senior league and stuff like that, and I like going to watch the Swans. But like I said, I could easily go and run the senior league and go to West End, go to Penang, go to other places. But like I said, only if I really, really want to go down the Swans will I. So it depends on the transfer window now. If it's a tidy transfer window and I feel positive, I will literally renew my season ticket and I'll go down there. Yeah. If they don't, then I won't, because I got other things to do on a Saturday, like run the league. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about whether it's worth it or whether it's not. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I hope they do. I hope they do well because, you know, they got a good base there. I'd say chuck a goal score, you know, like another goal scorer in there, whatever. Like I said, I think literally a playoff push, even an automatic push.
Because they are on. They reckon 5 of the top 6 clubs. Calling to Jim White this morning. 5 of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League.
Dan James.
I've inquired about Daniel James. Which says a lot about his talent. You know?
Yeah.
I think they were talking 10 mil plus, is it?
They'd want more. Personally, in this day and age, I'd be wanting a bit more than 10 million. But then he has only probably another year or so on his contract. So.
What you could say to Daniel James is, you think the club would be savvy and the agents would be savvy and say, look, Dan, like I said, we're not going to stand in your way of going. You're going to go to a big club, but what I'm saying is just protect our investment. Look, sign a new contract. We'll give you an extra whatever grand a week, but we're not doing it to try and keep you with the club. We're doing it so you worth more to these big clubs.
But
you get what I mean? But his agent,
he's trying to half time. He's going to say shut.
Really speaking, that should have already been done.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have got to this fucking point. But like you say, that's fucking Comet. We'll talk about that another day. But just quickly. You have been the main man, and you Boss Live with Lee Trundle. Q&A.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I did talk about it on the intro.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Can I try it?
You what do you want?
You can have another boss.
You want another
boss?
boss?
Yeah.
Make sure you say it a bit louder.
I'm on holiday.
Say it a bit louder. July the 12th, Boss Brewery, Lee Trundle, Q&A, Paddy comparing. I heard they sacked the comedian.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, never?
Yeah, I told him they were wasting fucking time anyway.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just made my job a little bit harder. But
really?
Well, no, I just
think it's a
thought,
little bit easier, surely.
Well, no, I just thought there was a comedian there, and I'm
No,
thinking, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what basically, Sarah from Boss messed me out. They said, we've had a few issues with the comedian. We don't think we're going to go with the comedian now. And I just said,
they don't need him.
Really speaking, you don't need a comedian. If we've got Paddy, then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why you're paying the big bucks for.
She said, you're not the first person to say that to me. I was like, well, there we go.
I didn't actually know that they had a place down the marina. Like, this girl I'm friends with, Sarah, that she texted me and said, I'm down this. I can't remember what it's called. Down the marina. So
is
I went
that,
down.
It's not the... No.
It's owned by the same people, Boss Brewery.
That's
down the
Not that Swig, is it?
Where the fuck's that?
It's literally down the marina, like.
Is it?
The other side of the pump house, up a bit towards the docks, like.
I
can't remember what it's called, but it's quality, quality. They got like a beer garden outside. It bumped in like Will Bag and stuff like that. I know. Yeah, it's quality down there. Yeah.
You got a good little set.
They don't call the bar. They own the Boss Brewery, and I think there's that other one down the marina.
Okay. She hasn't mentioned that to me yet, so we'll see about that. I'll ask for more beers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, the tattoo. Things are in motion.
Right, okay.
Just to clear this up, right? Because what's happening is we got no podcast next week because I'm going into have an operation on my nose next Tuesday. So we're going to have next week off. We got no fucking choice. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be like. It's going to look like John Merrick.
Yeah, exactly.
But the week after, we're going to be on the podcast. But it turns out that I got some cousin that I didn't even know I had.
What?
Who's a tattooist.
What? Shut up.
Swear the fuck,
Landed on your feet.
Just keep falling into shit.
Exactly.
So he said he'll bang the tattoo out, no problems.
Yeah.
I loaned Sean Reese from the TTLO podcast.
Yeah.
He's going to film it all and do all that. All we got to do now is get OMB, Ollie McBurney, involved.
Right.
So that is that.
Don't forget, the season's finished. He's in Dubai.
I know.
100%.
So that is the only thing missing from what we always had planned. That if it fucking went the way it did, and I was fucking left with this fucking tattoo, we was going to try and get it filmed, get it done, and get Ollie McBurney there at the same time. But it probably Ollie McBurney may be a stretch.
Yeah.
Because he pied my fucking message anyway. But it's going to be, because I'm trying to fit it in while I'm off work, and I got to fit it in around the tattooist and Sean.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be the weekend of the FA Cup final or the finals, the 18th or the 19th. So, and I'm not even supposed to be, because I'm with my nose, I'm not supposed to be doing fuck all. I'm supposed to just stay in the house. That's why I got 2 weeks off work. But for the tattoo, I will go out and do it. So, like, do not know I'm not bottling it. It is fucking, it will happen.
Yeah,
you know I won't bottle it. And actually, we've done well. Actually, you can still fucking donate. Get on my personal Twitter. Get on the Salute. We nearly had a grand.
I got to get
that's quality. I'll pull that. I'll push it for you as well on the page.
If we can get up to a grand,
job done.
2 grand then with what my Bernie puts in. That's mega for the sake of a shit twat like me having a fucking tattoo on his ass. At least something good come of a joke, like, you know what I mean? So that's it, Jim. Fucking pleasure.
Big shout to Stacey and the boys doing
Stacey Farnell, Gary John, Swansea Vale Runners, finest, did the Dragon 100, which they got tucked up because it's not even 100. It's 104.
No way.
Yeah. So
that's why I don't do it.
Yes, okay. Paddy can't do that.
And obviously, I want to mention Liam Todd. He's got a football tournament coming up for the 2 kids who got cancer and stuff.
Yeah,
Toddy does
fucking
fucking loads for charity. He's a fucking good man. Stacey and Guy John ran 100 mile, I call the Dragon 100. I think he went from Russell to fucking.
And I think Dwyer did as well. Paul Dwyer did as well.
Didn't
with
he?
no training,
with
absolutely crazy
no
cut.
training. Yeah. That just don't even bear fucking thinking about. We're gonna have him on soon with Westy.
Can't wait.
Yeah. That's it. We're having a week off, Jim. Thank you very much. Hopefully for the Swansea Senior League people are listening, you've cleared up a load of shit.
Yeah.
Because the things that are coming up, obviously we didn't know that before tonight. Pad, I'm out here, you're out here, and I'll have a new nose by the time we come back. Like Jamie's new hair. Oh yeah. I'm gonna turkey. Right, peace.
Ambition is critical.